you.
All for you. Freedom.
Keep your ear to the ground.
Talking about the freedom.
It's the best show in town.
Let's show you that freedom. Well. Freedom.
I'll give you freedom. Yes, it's right.
Freedom.
Start right now.
Freedom.
Get your freedom tonight.
Freedom. Well. Freedom. Come on, everybody. Young, old, all you lovers. This is our time to rise back from the sand and claim our freedom. Talking about the freedom. Let yourself be free.
I'll give you freedom. Yes, it's right.
Freedom.
Start right
Talking
now.
about the freedom.
Get your freedom tonight.
Freedom.
I'll give you yes, it's right.
Freedom. Let yourself be free.
Start right now.
Freedom.
Get your freedom tonight.
Freedom. Well.
Got my bags packed, timeline on track. My winter coat stuck in the closet way back. I won't be needing that. I won't be needing that. I'm ready to fly down. hurt and the bad times. I'm feeling so alive. I'm feeling so alive. Yeah. I'm ready to fly down 65. Hit the coastline in the sunshine. I'm ready to fly down 65, hit the coastline in the sunshine. I'm going to find my new high, hit the coastline in the sunshine. I'm ready to fly down 65, hit the coastline in the sunshine. I'm going to find my new high, hit the coastline in the sunshine.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. So glad to see you guys' faces here yet again for another edition of Learning 5e D&D. I'm excited. I got some really interesting plans for this week for what we're going to get started and get done. And I'm just going to try and get into it. First thing I wanted to do is bring in the guys with me, as always, my faithful companions. Derek from Draco Blades Gaming. So I'd say about hi, bud.
Hello.
And
Hello.
Chris McGoldrick of McCheeto fame. The man has eaten 3 full bags of hot Cheetos.
Derek, I ate all 3.
He didn't even give me one.
Oh wait, actually all 4. Sorry.
And it's only been you moved into your mom's apartment or your mom's
exactly a week ago.
A week. I told you, didn't I freaking tell you? I was like, man, he's gonna have those gone. I should have grabbed them, but I didn't. Man, yeah, that's why I didn't have any. The guy likes hot Cheetos. What can I say? So the first thing that I want to talk about, guys. Some of you may know this, some of you may not, but I started my first introduction to D&D was back in 2nd edition. Had a whole bunch of guys that got me excited to tell stories and just share, and it was great. And then they just kind of dropped off the face of the earth, which really kind of sucked. I bought some books, and I was just like, man, if you guys are looking at the stream, check this out. Advanced Dungeons and Dragons. Oh wow. It didn't. Here, let me see if the images pop up. Yeah, I had this book, The Complete Ninja's Handbook. I had bought this, and I bought a PHB and a Player's Handbook for those who are uninitiated. Wow, look at this one. Test of the Ninja. Right? And so I was so excited about playing, and the guys were like, well, if you make it easier, we could just, you can play a fighter and dress him like a ninja. I had no idea how to play at all. I had no exposure, and every time I wanted to play, it was like no one was interested. So I moved on to 3.0, which completely broken system. Did you know in 3.0, you could, if someone casted haste on you, you could cast 2 spells in a round. It's incredibly broken. This one guy was telling me this horror story about this wizard who went out, it casted haste on himself, and then just 2 fireballs round and blew up a whole entire town. And I was like, well, that escalated quickly. And so, wow. One of the things we're going to be doing tonight is building our own characters, mostly from scratch. We'll be doing the rolls in the parser tonight, and I'm excited for that because it's been a long time since we've done. Well, I don't think we've done that. And like when you roll dice for 3.5, or for 3.5, there's like a ton of numbers. I remember having a whiteboard and showing McCheeto. I was like, all right, well, you get these amount of skill points from this here, and because you're a human, you get 4 more. And the kid looked at me like I was speaking Chinese. I wasn't speaking Chinese. I'm not that flavor of Asian. But, I was like, he's like, I need you to slow down. And so what I did is I got the whiteboard out, and I'm sitting there, and I'm just writing all these numbers. Well, your first attack of the round is a plus, 10, plus 5, plus, 1, and then plus 0 if you're that high enough level. Because you had 4 attacks around. And so when we made the conversion to 5, I was like, I don't know if I really want to invest into the books and do all that. And, the more faithful these guys have been, which I really appreciate them for, of showing up every week and putting up with, what's going on. I was like, I have a decision to make. Do I just dive into this? Of course, Derek has an interesting story. I'll let him share it here in a minute. But, it was just one of these things to where, I need to invest in this. I like having a book, something physical. So I went out and bought my first D&D book in a very long time. I'm very happy with what I've seen. It reflects a lot of things that, I'm just kind of getting back into it. I see characters in here that, like Dritz and, Brunor, I forgot his last name. It was there and it was gone. Like, poof. Right? And so I was like, I want to commit to doing this. And which kind of brings me to kind of the theme of tonight is creating characters and then jumping into the first part of this module, which is the murder at Moonviel Manor. I'm really happy with when I read through it. This was really well organized. A huge shout out to dmsguild.com. Murder at Moonviel Manor. Val and Mogman, Mr. Doubloon. I hope I got that right. If not, I'm sure someone will correct me. And I'm like, guys, it was really well put together. And there's a whole bunch of characters. And I spent the better part of like this week just like thinking of voices for them, which is probably why I'm kind of nervous, And so, yeah. I'm excited for where this is going to go. And I probably said I'm excited like a whole bunch of times. I probably should like take that word out and say nervous. But like, I guess I'm just happy that we've been able to do this for several weeks and actually have a consistent group. And that's been kind of one of those things I guess, really wanted, right? But, so, that's kind of what's going on in my life. I don't want to be the only one. Derek, you were telling me this week about how you really, because we were talking about maps and talking about where we want to go and some of the things that you want to do. Just kind of share what you want, I guess, how that process is going and how that's working out for you.
So, I'm crazy. So, I just jump headlong into a pool without looking to see if there's actually water. So I went out and I've already bought, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 D&D books just because. Looking at ordering 14 more. I really enjoy this game. I really enjoy the fantasy of it. I've always been a fantasy person. Harry Potter, Star Wars to a certain degree. We won't talk about that.
I saw your wands when we moved and stuff like that. I was like, holy crap. And there's like, and I'm not talking some plastic wands here. It said inside the box, because I got curious and I was like, I opened it up. It's like, this is not a toy. This is like a reproduction. Like, this is some like high-end stuff. And I was like, oh gosh.
They were actually bought at Ollivander's in Orlando, Florida at in the Hogwarts town.
Oh my gosh.
I have been there 2 or 3 times. I've had butterbeer. I have bought chocolate frogs. Everybody bought their flavor beans. I anything fantasy, I'm all into it.
Well, Derek, I don't know. Hope he don't leave the flock here, but he's eventually going to DM some games and get some things together. And he's been a big, huge supporter of mine, and I've been able to use whatever artistic skills that I've had to help him in that endeavor. And I'm excited to see where that goes. Definitely get a plug from me whenever that time comes. So I'm looking forward to what you're kind of putting up there.
I mean, Shane, honestly, you've been great for me, just trying to help out, giving me advice and everything, making me explore my artistic side here.
I'm still looking for your art.
Which I've killed since high school. It's been almost... God, how long have we go?
Is it 10 years?
10 years. We're going on 10 years or something.
You're only 24 for crying out loud.
8 years. No, we're going on 8 years. We're going on... I'm 20, almost 26 for the record, but it's going on 8.
Wow. Fun fact, Chris and I, so Derek, McCheeto, Christopher, and I were in a small like little film that we did together, which that'll be coming out as well. I've watched the preliminary cut, and we saw some color grading and some audio, and I was just like, this is my 50th time watching it, and it still gets me every time. That last tagline, we had a good writer. It'd be cool to get Jackson in here, but I think he would just not know what to do, really. Um,
Do any of us really know what to do?
you know,
Yeah.
I just yeah. Well, okay. Of all people, I think that you should, because you're like all studying like the rules and stuff like that. And me,
I do know a lot. I do.
I appreciate that because I'm saying like the part of this series is to kind of really get into that like that like rule learning stuff. And I honestly I've been avoiding mages for most of my career, and so now I don't really want to do that anymore. And I want to know how that works because if Machito jumps over here and says, "Hey, I do Thunderwave," I should know what that is. I was watching a recent video about like how like Matt Mercer himself commands a lot of respect as he knows the rules and is able to just be that resource. But Machito, do you have anything you'd like to share? Just kind of what's going on with your world, Mister maybe game programmer?
I mean, I'm just looking forward to finally finishing up the last 2 weeks of my summer classes here. Because as much as I love public speaking and computer concepts,
Considering you're always on a computer, they better have updated that class. I'm not gonna lie.
I mean, it's fairly updated, and it's not irrelevant. It's just a lot of it's easy, basic stuff for like office space, and I'm trying to do more of the coding class, which is coming up in the fall, which will be an interesting challenge once it's 15 credit hours. So
And a
I wanna
full-time
take the
job.
challenge. Yeah, well, yeah, and I do want to. I'm gonna try and take that challenge up. I'm gonna try and do something I've never done before, and that's scary, but also I think is going to be fun.
Nice.
And I do during this time want to play D&D, and I think having this scheduled, I don't care if it takes us only 3 hours and we barely get through the game. I just want to be able to have fun with you guys, and I think the creative side of this is that I do at some point want to develop a game, whether it's Unity or whatever engine. I just want to learn something
Right.
at some point, and I think maybe you guys will have an involvement with the creative process with it, and I think that D&D is a great outlet for that.
Well, I have a key to your house, so you really can't stop me from just coming over and hashing out stuff. Much to the chagrin of your spastic cat and your wife.
See, you always say
Yeah.
you have a key to his house. I have a key to his heart.
You're gonna have to knife fight Jada for that, and I'm pretty sure she ain't going
I
down.
was gonna say it's called Jada. She's got the key. So
No, you just borrowed it from her, and you made a copy of it, and that's what ended up
Oh my
happening.
went, stalked outside his window. Saw what he did last night.
No, if he
That's
stalked
why
outside
they-
his window, you're gonna see his cat, and this cat will flip out. Bro, this cat was just, and it's not like, it's, yeah. I walked in there, it's like, hey, kitty, and the cat didn't like jump down and hide. He just, is it he or she? Cheeto, yeah. He just kind of looked at me like, how dare you come into my home? And just got up slowly, walked to the thing, stretched, and then looked at me, and then casually walked and hid. It wasn't scared of me. It was just like, you're not worth my time, sir. I'm hiding underneath the bed. I was like, all right.
Actually, that reminds me. I felt really bad last night. So I got up. It was like 1 a.m. to go get a drink.
Oh, boy.
And our older dog that stays inside, that normally sleeps in my parents' room,
Mm-hmm.
was in the living room and heard me and just starts going nuts, barking. Woke my stepdad up, and I felt so bad. He's just not used to me being in the house at night. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm a skittish person as well, I suppose. Like, if there's someone moving in my house, I'm kind of like, I've got heavy things to throw at you. Just get out of my house. So, well, some other things that have happened that I was pretty excited about. Well, I want to respond to what Machito said real quick. He said something to the effect of like, you want to take on that challenge and you don't care how long it takes. Spoiler alert. I was watching Critical Role last night. Yeah.
Don't you spoil it for me. I'll murder you. And
Travis said, if y'all quit screwing around, we could have got there by now. And like 3 hours, and Matt's is kind of like, it's been 3.5 hours. We need to go. And I was sitting there thinking, well, that's all right. Let's just do that. as far as that's concerned. So that's why, like, it takes them 100 episodes, and that's fine, to kind of get somewhere. But either way you look at it, that's fine with me, because we're here to create a story, have fun, and build fellowship, which I might destroy now. If you guys are watching this stream, I got in the mail today the Critical Role spell scroll that they advertised like a couple weeks ago. Like, they advertised it, and I was looking for something like this, so I guess you can call this an unboxing. But it comes in this nice fancy box. Like, this is a legit box. I like the writing on it. I haven't even opened it up. I was like, you know what? Let's just share this on stream, since this is all D&D related. That is a nice fancy box. And I'm gonna have to use this for something else, that's for certain.
And while you're doing that, I am learning how to do my name in Elven.
Oh my gosh, this man's committed.
I would also like to point out something kind of funny. My mother has started watching Critical Role Season 2 from the beginning.
Oh, wow.
So has Chris.
Wait, you said 2 or 1?
Second.
Two.
Okay, yeah, I'm on episode 6 or 7 now.
I'm on episode 71.
Oh, God. Wait, did you skip through a little bit?
I know. He
Watched
watched the whole
every
thing.
single episode.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow. This thing is nice, guys. I don't know if this is just sticking because because, like, there's kind of some stickage. And you get to, like Laura said in the thing, there's the whole dice. Oh, you can't see it. It comes across as really now that you put your dice in there. If I could show
that's cool.
And then there's the whole spell scroll
A little
thing.
pouch thing, yeah.
But there's also another one on the other side. I could show it off.
What's the material of that?
It's kind of a fake leather.
Okay.
It's more like almost like a felt.
Like pleather. No, I'm kidding. Like a soft.
Yeah, it's
It
really
looks
soft.
spongy. It looks kind of spongy. Like it's
Porous?
very good.
Yeah.
Yeah. It looks really nice.
I don't know what it's actually made of, but it feels really nice. Well,
And
yeah.
I totally spelled my name wrong, by the way. I spelled Horst.
Oh my gosh.
See, I feel like me and Cheeto focused on different like, he went full body on this one. I'm going, okay, I want to get into creating more of the backstory. I'm not so worried about the voice.
Oh, I worked on the backstory. Don't you worry.
Yo, he did. He was, like I said, he was telling me about it. So this is a nice thing. The reason I got this, honestly, was I wanted something to carry art supplies in, and I wanted it to look artistic. Just so every time I look at it would look nice. And yeah, I wish I had a wider. I do have a second webcam. Well, actually, I don't. I gave it to Chris. So I'm excited to have that and share that and just kind of have that in my backpack.
Did you?
It's still in my house, but yeah. The other thing, so Derek came up and he told me how metal dice has changed his life. I was like, okay, like they roll better, they're heftier, and so I went out and I bought a couple of sets of them. And the first set, I don't know if it shows here well on camera, was a nice metal set. They're blue and gold, and honestly, they remind me of the Alliance from World of Warcraft. And they came in these nice, like, little bags, So that's the first set. But then the second set comes in, and it comes in. Look at this metal tin, dude. This is legit. Like, and then you just.
It looks kind of like mine.
Yeah, and then my standard black and orange, which are my colors, because General Tso's chicken is, black and
amazing,
delicious. And then just today, Derek, look at this, dude. I don't mean to be showing off so much, but
no, do it. I love it.
Chris and I went to the cigar shop, and I saw that $1, and look at that. It holds all the dice, just right in there. And
that's pretty cool.
And it had a rapier on it, and I'm just like, I'm down with this bit of business. And Chris got one because he wanted a dice roller, like something to throw his dice in that'll catch it. And so that ended up happening just today because we had a client meeting. And yeah, it was. and I'm excited to sit there and actually have more than one d20 in the whole entire thing, because I was like, advantage, let me roll this twice. Wait, what was the first roll? Crap, I don't remember. It was a it's 5. You sure? Yeah, shut up. It's a 5. Do you question your DM? Well, if it's not,
Yes.
it is. Shut up. Well, if it's not, it is now. So I'm excited to kind of add that to the collection, and so I just have to take out some of this wood and give it to Chris, because Chris wanted some wood for his dice roller to kind of keep him segregated. Man.
Indeed.
Well, guys, I think that kind of covers everything, all the fun stuff that's been happening this week. So let's get into tonight's episode of Learning 5e D&D. Now, I wish I had like a bumper. I'd like to just be like, you know, a big animated bumper, but you know, we don't quite have the production capabilities just yet. But we will.
That would be pretty cool.
One day. So up until now, we have used D&D Beyond to essentially make actually, let me play some music. It'd be kind of cool. We've been using D&D Beyond to randomly make characters, right? I didn't want this to be difficult for the guys. I didn't want this to be like super challenging. So what I decided to do was to say, all right, instead of going through that whole process and getting distracted, how about we just, do something simple? How about you just kind of randomly create these characters, take them in there, learn them a little bit, and then move on. Well, after last week's game, I'm pretty sure that the guys had a pretty good idea of how that worked. So I said, this week, let's just make characters for a change. And that's what we're going to be doing tonight. We are going to be playing some of the first few. So in the interim, I've asked you guys to write down your backstories, all that fun stuff. But the first thing we have to do is roll some dice. Now, I will say that there are several ways to do this. Grandpa here. Back in my day, people just, what they did was they would roll 46 and drop the lowest score. That's as far back as I go. I'm pretty sure there's probably other ways to do it, but that's just how, we did it. Now you have things like you could take standard rolls that's in the DMG, which I believe I have that. I'm surprised Derek doesn't have the page number memorized.
Looking it up right now. It is page. I don't have everything memorized. You crazy? I have 10 books that I've been reading.
Yeah, that's not enough, Derek. It's on page. It's on page
Isn't it near like the beginning.
13. 15, 14, 13, 12, 10, and 8. Which, that's pretty good. There is the point buy system, which you can see down here, which is not bad. I've used that before. I kind of like, I'm a bit partial to rolling. So for this one, I'm going to have you guys roll. Now, I have a small little caveat. I like having a bit beefier of characters. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to allow you guys to not only roll 46 and drop the lowest number, but if you guys get a 1, I'll let you re-roll that.
Yes, I love you.
Nice.
So that's kind of been my rule, because sometimes I feel like 1s just jip things, and I'm like, oh, I've got a character with
9.
yeah, just 9s across the board. And I'm like, yeah.
Quick question. You said the DMG, right?
Player's Handbook, page 13.
You said DMG.
Did
you
I?
said DMG, and I'm like, I didn't think that was in the DMG, but
I had
grabbed
to
the book,
throw you off somehow, my friend.
and I pulled it up, and I'm like, 13. This is nothing about them. Page 13, 14, 15.
And what did we learn? We learned that
Not to
people.
listen to my DM.
You do that anyway. Shut up.
Where does
Alright,
it
so-
list the normal? Oh, okay. Oh, okay, I see it.
So, let's go ahead and Derek, pick a number between 1 and 10. Same thing with you, Chris.
Okay,
Done.
got it.
Okay. What'd you get, Derek?
4.
Okay. Chris?
8.
Of course you idiots would do this. The number was 6.
I'm like, it's gonna be
Fine.
halfway between.
Fine. Roll it in the parser. Give me a roll of D100.
Oh, really?
Whoever's higher wins. I should have done it that
Oh
way.
crap! I totally did that wrong.
That's
And he's disqualified. It's just, that doesn't count. I win.
hold on.
Oh!
Okay, hold on. All right, I lost.
You rolled it. Okay.
I got
Derek,
2.
go ahead and I don't know. There used to be a way in the parser to to do that, but go ahead and roll
46.
46.
Bam. 3, 5, 2, 2 for a total of 12. All right.
So that would be 10.
First number's 12. Or yeah, 10. Sorry.
Okay. Make sure
That
you
sucks.
write
Make
that.
sure you got a sticky note or something.
Yeah, I'm writing it in mine. I've got so many different journals at the wazoo I've been taking notes in, which is why I can't find my original background story and had to write a quick one 5 minutes before this started.
Oh my gosh, Derek, you need like an app for this. Let me tell you, brother.
Yeah, Notion or Evernote
Old
or something.
school, man. I'm old school. All right.
You're
You
not
ready?
even. Oh my. Yeah, go ahead. You got a 10.
All right. This time I got a 12.
12. Good. And this dice
Come on.
parser does not like you at all.
Come on.
There you
All
go.
right, 15. 15. All right, we getting there. We getting there.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm gonna laugh.
Ooh,
Okay.
I get reroll 2.
Reroll 2d6. So you got an 18. There it is.
Yeah.
Golly.
All right. All right. Let's see. I've got what's how many more? How many more?
1, 2, 3, 4.
4,
Yeah,
5,
yeah,
6.
you have
2 more.
You have 2. Yeah.
Yeah, 2 more.
Oh,
Come on, buddy.
46. Oh!
Oh,
Okay.
wow.
Oh my
So
gosh.
10, that's another 15. That's
15.
another 15.
Yep. Jeez.
Awesome. That's so far working out how I want.
And all of a sudden he gets nothing but 2s. 2, 4, 6. Which unfortunately is
All right.
15.
So minus 3. Another 15. All right. No negative scores.
all right. So as we get started, you may or may not have been doing this already. Start thinking about your race and then your class. I'm gonna pop over to McCheeto. All right, buddy. Let's hope.
Alright, so I'm rolling now.
Yeah, not physically.
Oh, yeah, I know. I'm gonna do
I
something.
heard the dice
Hold
in the
on.
background. I was like, whoa, 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 Spanky. No, we're
Hold
not
on.
doing that way.
Let me do
Don't get all fancy with it.
my character dice. Just real quick. I'm gonna put a space between here.
All right.
And
So he's all professional, as Dad used to say. I'm writing these down too, just so we have
yeah, thank you. So wait, it's 4d6, right?
46, correct. Reroll ones.
If I can make sure.
So go ahead and
Okay.
roll a d6 for me. I don't know why this is exciting to me, but it's exciting to me.
It's fun doing individual dice stuff.
Oh
Okay,
my
so
gosh!
15. that what you got?
15. Yeah, 15. Man, off the bat, he's like, I see you're 15, bruh. 15's where I'm starting, man.
Gotta beat an 18, so it matters.
Oh my God.
And he gets like 3 18s. Shut up, Derek.
I'll cry.
Yeah,
I'll
don't,
okay.
don't encourage me.
Woo.
Incorrigible.
Okay, second one.
All right.
Roll 4d6. So that is a
12.
12. Okay. I am not disappointed at that. That is a good one. Third.
All right.
Roll 4d6. I should probably just copy that back
Yeah,
now.
you should. So back in the day, they used to have you. So that's a
Another
12.
12.
They used to have you do. Would be like you rolled a 10, 12, 15, 18, 15, 15. Your character would have a 10 strength, a 12 dex, 15 con, 18 intelligence, 15 wisdom, 15 charisma. I'm really surprised I know all that. Reroll your one, bud.
I'm really glad it doesn't do that anymore because like that would make like I'd have to
15.
create my character around that.
Exactly, and that's how they did it. And I was just like, that sounds
Stupid.
really annoying. 15,
All right,
12,
all right.
12. All right.
Okay.
Yeah, I got 2 doubles of each. Okay.
We'll see. We'll see. Okay. Ooh.
So 11.
11.
11.
I mean, these are not bad.
No, you're not negative. on
No,
anything
no,
yet, so-
no, not yet.
These
I'm
are...
waiting for you to get someone to get a 6.
Okay, so this is the 6th one.
Last one.
We roll.
Roll your 1.
On
Give
Chico.
me a 6. Come on, give me a 6. Oh,
Close enough.
14.
14, yeah.
14.
So I didn't get above 15. That's not bad.
Yeah,
that's
but the
great.
original stats, like these are higher than the normal stats.
Oh yeah.
Because the normal stats is on a basis of 72 or 75, correct?
Um,
Oh wait, would you know that yet? Have you done your research in the player's handbook yet?
no, I haven't. Full disclosure, I'm not. I'm not gonna sit there and but yeah. So like you have the buyout points, but okay, 27 points. And there's calculators online that you can get for that, and that's kind of another exciting point of that as well. So, yeah.
Okay, that works. That works for what I want to do.
Is that to like limit?
Well, and the thing is back in the day you could go above 20 on your stats, but here you can't. So, some things won't allow you to go over that. Like I haven't researched that. Derek probably has an answer because it's freaking Derek.
Yeah, everything maxes out at 20.
Right. There are ways to get above 20, but I think that has to be like a wish spell or something.
That or it's a modifier that only works certain ways. I'm pretty sure.
Well, back in the day, they had there was this one character. I don't know if it's Halaster or Morton Kyton, one of the big guys. Well, he had access to so many wish spells and stuff like that. He had gotten that far up there to where he wished that he had higher stats. And so this guy was a wizard with like a 30, intelligence, and his strength was, that of an average fighter, but the guy's like a wizard. Like what, and his con score and all these things were like he had buffed them a lot. Because I think you can only get like +4 to it. I could be wrong, and someone will probably check me if I am, but it was I remember reading in some source materials like, yeah, I use some wish spells, and I think through wishes you can only get your stats up to a +4, which meant that you can go from an 18 to a 22 back in the day, which is weird because look, this thing has it all the way up to 30, but like I don't know if any character can get there before, but we're a lot stronger in this one. I was just telling Chris, be thankful that your mage gets a D6 of health. Back in the day, they got a D4. So, it was pretty dope.
Yeah, I'm not complaining.
So,
I'm gonna complain.
Of course you are. Derek, Chris, I'm going to come back to you in just a second. I think you already have a class and race in mind, but I'm going to jump over to Derek. And Derek, given your stats, what race are you thinking about playing?
I am going to be a human.
Oh, just keeping it vanilla. All right, that's cool.
Wow. I'm not taking this. I'm walking away now.
Honestly,
I mean, he could be a black human,
but here's
so he could be chocolate.
Yeah. Oh my god, no.
this is why I'm glad I have you around. So, human. All right, awesome. What was your thought about doing a human?
I'm going to be a human fighter, actually,
A human fighter. Good.
with a gladiatorial background.
Wow. Something my good friend told me about backgrounds is that they are adjustable and fluid. They're more or less for fluff and stuff like that. So you could have a wizard who has no use in thieving have a criminal background and all of a sudden get proficiency bonuses. And I was like, wow, that adds so much more to this game. Because he had a gnome barbarian, and he kind of did a thing where it was like Enchantress from the Suicide Squad, and his rage was a warrior spirit would come over him for that 1 minute, and so when he wasn't enraged, he was a really smart doctor that would study Arcana because he had a sage background, but instead of study Arcana, he did study religion because it fit his role play, and that quirks like that have really made this game a lot more expansive in certain areas, and I'm excited to kind of see where that goes. It's good having that established people that are helpful with that. So a human fighter, all right, cool. I tell you what, go ahead and make sure you post it in the link here. Go ahead and put it in out of character. Start filling in your stats and your human stuff, and we'll pull that up here in a bit and have a look at it as you do that. Chris, so given your stats and everything that you have there, bud, what were you thinking about playing?
My character is going to be an elf.
An
A
elf.
high elf, to be specific.
High elf.
So vanilla.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty close to vanilla. It'd
Yeah.
be interesting if I was playing like I think there's something called a fey elf, or there's a deviant version of him.
Well, if we're talking deviant versions,
I didn't mean deviant. I meant because that's dark elf, I think, or drow.
yeah, drow.
I'm thinking
yeah.
there's another one in there that's like you can list. I can't remember what it's called though. I'd have to
There's
go to
a
it.
wood elf. There are high elves, and then there are drow in here. And there's a lot of subspecies as well. You were right on
I
that.
think there's something unearthed arcana kind of elf.
Yeah.
There's one other elf that's now listed. It was originally tested
That's
it
what
wasn't-
unearthed. Yeah, that's what
yeah.
unearthed arcana is. That's kind of like the yeah. So.
I think it originally was like homebrew.
Well, and back in the day, what would happen is if you wanted to choose
Oh.
a dark elf, what would end up happening is you'd get something called class effective character level. No, what was that called? Essentially, your race added character levels to your character. So if you had a level 1 character class, like a rogue, a drow rogue, he'd actually be his effective character level would be 3 because of all the abilities he got at level 1. So I'm glad that they found a way to kind of weave that into it as they went. So
Which
level
is-
adjustments. Yeah.
I forgot to say, I'm a variant human. I'm not just a regular human.
Mm-hmm.
Meant to say that? Forgot.
No, that's
you
fine.
reminded me, Tito.
Chris, what were you gonna say, bud?
Is an Eladrin, is that the drow in this? You would have to look under the races. It shows it on here. There's an Eladrin, but I think that's a different race comparatively to the Dark Elves.
And see, that's what I like about D&D. There's so many people are expanding and stuff like that. I'm pretty sure there are, but in the core rulebook, I'm not seeing it. But they've been expanding this.
Dungeon Master's Guide. Hold on one second.
Oh, okay.
It was originally, an example for creating your own sim.
Oh, I'm seeing what you're saying.
It was kind of like they live in the Twilight realm of Feywild, or I'm guessing Feywield. Maybe, I don't know how they might say it.
No, it's Feywild.
Feywild, okay. So it's essentially a different plane.
Right. Which you were kind of playing with that within the last game that you were playing. So, at Aragenesai, because we just did random. All right, guys. Chris, go ahead and plug in your stats for your character, and we'll move this along.
Quick
And
question. Do we need to turn the character preferences off? Because there's stuff like feats and multi-class stuff in here. Do we want to just take those off?
Since you're not randomizing it, since you're building it from scratch, you shouldn't, as you move past that. If you want to share your screen, I'll have a look at it.
For the record, I say leave it on because you're actually going to need it.
Feats
Increase
are...
the feats.
Feats are...
Multi-classing not. But feet definitely.
Feats are actually not built into 3. They are, but they're a variant. We're not using them at this time because, like, when you level up to 4, you can either choose a feat or you can choose an ability point. And it's back in the day, feats were everything. Now it's just kind of like, they're a variant rule. You don't have to use them. Which I would like to use them, but we'll get there eventually. Michito is live. Hopefully you have nothing that'll offend people. Let me see what you're looking at, bud. Character preferences. Oh, that's his name. You got a name for him. Cool. Sources.
Capitalize that.
Allow... Oh, okay. In all honesty, if you want to...
Because there's stuff like the fixed hit point milestone. I think we're just going off a milestone at this point. I mean, just for...
Are we?
For hit points, go ahead and hit manual.
Okay, we're going to do that. Cool.
Confirm. Nice.
Do you want to turn the feats multi-class, and then there's this other 2 content stuff that I think it just added by automatically?
Yeah, that's fine. We probably won't get into that just now. You can probably you can go ahead and leave that on. Go ahead and scroll down to the bottom there. Encumbrance, use encumbrance. Yeah, ignore coin weight. That's fine. All right.
So just leave these on.
That's fine. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. They were already on, so I figured they're just gonna be.
I'm glad they kind of walk you through that, so you get these. Yeah.
Yeah. It just tells me all the stuff that I get. So I do have trance like before in 3.5 with the sleep thing, where I only sleep for 4 hours, which I don't think is gonna be a big thing, but
you still have to have 8 hours of downtime for that. So
correct.
What?
So you may only need to sleep for 4 hours, but to regain your spells like at a long rest, you still have to sleep the full or 8 hours.
Thankfully, I do have a arcane. What's it called? Hold on, let me move forward.
Recovery or whatever.
I think.
Yeah, arcane recovery, so I can do a short rest, and that I get to choose the expended spell slots to recover. So thankfully, I will have that, but I don't think we're really gonna.
Right.
Yeah.
Go ahead and pick your languages, and so.
I'm gonna know Gnomish. Got my Ray of Frost. Okay.
Classy. So hit points.
Do you want to roll? Yeah.
You have your level 6. I think we're starting off with this one at level 6. So let's go to the dice parser here and roll your hit points.
Let me open all these up. I may have to buy the book on here so I can add stuff later on, because I think I like this setup.
It'd be kind of nice to say, like, hey, I bought a DMG, and have like the code on the back of it so you can plug in there and say, hey, I actually bought it, so I don't have to like buy it twice.
There's a code somewhere?
No, I'm saying it'd be nice if.
Yeah.
I was about
That
to get
would be
super
great.
excited.
If that were the case, I would definitely just go out and buy a physical copy. But
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna go ahead and drop this unless you want me to keep it up.
No, you're good. Derek, how we doing over there, bud? While he fixes his.
I'm good. I just went through and picked my own language. My second language is going to be Giant.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Plays in my backstory a little bit.
Oh no, you're not.
Easy there, killer.
And then
I don't know
ability
how to
score
say.
increase, my skills, and my feet.
Oh, that's right. Fighters get feats, don't they?
Yep, my feat is going to be dual wielder.
Of course
I'm
it
going
is.
to be 2-weapon hand fighting.
So go ahead and pull that up in the out of character, like what that means when you can dual wield. I think every character can 2-up and fight, but I think dual wielding means you get 2 attacks at your maximum bonus. I'm going to find out here in a second.
I was researching that a bit, and there is a point in which, like, a monk at a level 6 or above, I think, they can do a 4 attack thing with the flurry of blows. It's kind of ridiculous, but I mean, that's kind of.
Mine is they do not have to be light weapons. I can use heavy
Oh,
weapons
so
and at
okay.
people, and still have them be technically one-handed. I think.
Wow, they gutted everything. Monkey grip, not a thing. Let's just roll this all into one. Which means but that means if you make that offhand attack, you don't get to add your strength. Is that right? Is it just?
No, I start to add my strength.
Because normally, if you have two weapons and you fight another one, then you don't have to. Because like right now you have two weapon fight. Everyone has two weapon fighting if you have the weapons in your hand, but you didn't get the bonus to your strength. I don't know. That may have just been me.
Let's see.
We'll see what it pulls up when I get done. Fighter.
Yeah, I don't
At
have
class.
feats, so I'm just gonna improve my intelligence.
Point. Are we're rolling for our hit points, correct?
Yeah, go ahead and roll those in there. We'll see what happens.
Let's do this. All right, 1d10. Roll 1d.
You probably can do all of them if you 60-10 if you want.
Oh yeah, so we're rolling in here.
6d10 for first level?
No, for all of them. You can roll all your hit points at once.
Actually, I probably should actually put my score in here for my ability score. Golly.
I'm so confused what you mean by that, sir.
So you're level 6, right?
Oh, we're level 6?
Yeah, you're level 6.
Oh, sorry. I thought we were level 1. So I'm sitting here thinking, oh my god, you're gonna... Okay. Well, that's... Shit, I got a lot more to... Okay.
Well...
I got a lot more to do now! Alright, let's roll the 6d10.
Well, that's what this is all about. So while you're doing that, I'm actually going to look up two weapon fighting.
Are we rerolling ones?
Not on this one, no.
I got double ones. I'm only 19. Double ones and 2.
Wait, that's all your health points?
That's all my health points.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
I should have gone with the fixed. My fixed is 40.
Wait, well, don't forget your con modifier is going to get added to your hit points.
See, now that's the other thing. The con modifier, how it always was explained to me is that you get that con modifier for every level. So if your con modifier is 2 and you're level 6, you get 12 extra hit points.
Yes, that is correct.
Did that change in 5th edition, Derek, or no?
I know. That is still the same. So technically, I get to add...
What's your con?
I don't know yet. Whenever I get there, I will figure it out, and I will add all that. And I'll go up a little bit higher, but not too much, I don't think.
Okay, fine. Go ahead and roll both of those ones.
Thank you.
11 on my strength.
Oh, actually, reroll one of them, and then just give yourself 10 hit points, because normally, whenever I've made characters, first level, you always get max hit points.
So it's a 7.
So you get 17, yeah.
So I went from... So I now have, what's it? 10,
20,
7,
36?
24, so 34.
34, then you'll do your con modifier. Okay, cool.
34. Okay, that's better. That's a lot better.
Yeah, because I think there's things in here that'll kill you.
Everything? Anything?
There's a dog. There's a dog on the balcony. It kills you. Like, what the crap? I was like, this is a very strong dog.
You're climbing up a wall. You misstepped. You fall. You die.
Well, that escalated quickly. Chris, go ahead and do the same.
Okay, let me go back here.
I figured ability scores would be one of the first things that they would show you, but apparently not.
Yeah, it's kind of weird that they do that like that. I think it's just if you want to do a fixed score, because some people can do that, so you just skip through it.
I think for the sake of easiness,
the first roll should automatically be a 1d6, right? It should be a max 6.
It is. So go ahead and roll 5d6 and give yourself 6 extra hit points then.
So do a roll 5d6?
Correct.
Okay, here we go. 17. So I add that to the 6, correct?
Oh wow! So here's an interesting thing. Fifth edition has changed it, and it reads, and I quote: "Your Constitution modifier contributes to your hit points. Typically, you add your Constitution modifier to each hit dice you roll for your hit points, like we've already established. If your Constitution modifier changes, your hit points maximum changes as well, as though you had the new modifier from first level. For example, if you raise your Constitution score when you reach fourth level and your Constitution modifier increases from +1 to +2, you adjust your hit point maximum as though the modifier had always been a +2. So you add 3 hit points for your first 3 levels, then roll your hit points for the fourth using the new modifier." Oh, so it didn't change. I thought they had like a little addendum here. So, okay, yeah, go ahead and roll. So re-roll your 1, Christopher, on that one.
Oh, okay.
See, wizards in 3.5 or wizards in 5th edition, they took some Pilates classes or something. I mean, they're doing some cardio. They're like the guys with the little man buns at the gym just
Holy
working
crap.
out. So, yeah. You
Oh, wait, I have to
have
remove the 1, so 16. That's 20. Okay.
plus 6.
6. So 26.
That's not bad.
Okay, so so that's what I had before. That's hilarious. I had rolled these yesterday just to play around with it because I was trying to figure out how that worked. And then I get plus 12 for my con score.
Cool.
When I say 12, that's total, not obviously not each one.
No, I get you. You don't have like
150 HP.
you get there one of these days. Actually, yeah. My buddy found a way to use spells to double his hit points, and I was like,
Well, I have 38 HP.
So he's a power builder, yeah. Just imagine having a D4 for every level instead of a D6.
Yeah, I put 14 in my constitution. I wanted that plus 2.
I hope your 15's in your intelligence.
Yes. And
Which-
dexterity.
Which, if that's the case, then that means that you can probably add a +1 to that 15 to make it a 16, because at 4th level you get an ability skill point.
Yeah, I think I actually listed that in there, I think.
All right.
Because it gives me the option to do... I think it's that one? Where is it at?
All right, guys.
Hold on, I'm having to read stuff here of my character now that we're at level.
Well, I'll tell you what, there is some role-playing involved, so let's go ahead and focus on your background and your skills. There won't...
I get 2.
There won't be any fighting tonight, I don't believe, unless you just decide to pick a fight with the guards and something like that. Which I'm not going to put past you, but, I mean... Well, Derek, you wanted a challenge, right? You said something about a challenge? Yeah, you got a challenge.
Oh, I can actually put 2 points into one ability. Or I can do it into 1 into 2 abilities.
Yeah,
I'm
because
just
you're...
gonna put it all in intelligence then.
It's like, I need it.
Yeah, no, that's great.
You could put all 3 points into that and have an 18.
Yep.
Oh, wait a second. No, you're a high elf?
It'd be 17.
High elf, what ability score do they get? Because humans, you can put whatever you want it to, but I thought high elves had to go for a specific one.
So, are you talking about the ability score improvement?
Yeah. Well, no, not the improvement, the racial bonus that you get.
Do I have a racial bonus?
Yeah, you should have. C, D, E.
I have dark vision, keen senses. So I have proficiency in perception skill.
Oh, ability score increase. Your dexterity score is increased by 2. So if you want to use that 15 someplace else, whatever ability score you put into dexterity automatically gets a +2.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Where am I seeing that? Where's that at?
It is, if you look at the stream,
What page is it?
It's on page 23.
Or near the elves? Okay.
Your dexterity score increases by 2. Which they should probably, if you're using D&D Beyond, the good thing about that is they make that really easy and put that stuff in there for you.
Maybe they're gonna put it in once I hit it, because I don't see that option, and it might just do it automatically.
It'll most likely do it automatically. That's fine. All right. So, Derek,
Wow.
if you want to go with what you originally had written down, if you have it paraphrased, you're more welcome to do that and find that note later if you want.
Okay. Okay.
So I want you to go with what you had.
I mean, the one I wrote down is not too bad. It just, I think mine was other one was just a little bit more extensive, but not
Okay.
much. We're gonna go more.
And because I do not have the book on here, I am a evocation savant.
So you're blowing stuff up. All right, that's cool.
Yeah, with my spell book. So I'm gonna roleplay with my spell book a bit too.
Okay, so who is ready to give the character background? Derek, are you still working on that, or do you want Chris to go first?
Chris, go first, please.
So if that's the case, though, you might want to take notes, Derek. Otherwise, watch the stream again. That's fine.
Should probably make notes of these too.
Probably should, yeah. So I had the characters, the players, make some background information that we could use for that, and we're going to kind of go into that. I'm so glad that I have the Skyrim music playing in the background. It just really makes me think.
Beautiful.
It's just majestic. Thank you, Todd Howard.
The one thing he got right.
There it is. Freaking there it is, man.
Oh golly, I do know 4 languages. Okay, cool.
Are we doing the character details, physical characters, all that stuff right now? Is that what we're on?
Yeah.
I've done that.
Yes. I'm gonna have you
Okay.
guys give your background and tell us a bit about what your character looks like. So what we're gonna start with is, since Chris, I think he's ready to go, and we'll jump back to Derek. Tell us your character's name, which you've already shared a little bit of, and in character, and what you look like, and your background.
My name is Varo Pendergast.
Wow.
I am.
Go ahead.
Yes, that Pendergast.
No, I was trying to give you more time to write, so I was having McCheeto go first.
Oh, that's so good. Sorry, I thought you were telling me to go first.
No, go ahead. I was saying, like, keep some notes because you know somewhat of this guy, so yeah.
Oh yeah, I've got a page written down here, like 5 sentences and stuff.
Okay, cool. So go ahead, Derek. That's fine, bud.
I am a renowned gladiator that have spent the past 5 years practicing my craft and slaying and defeating any foe put in front of me. I just recently lost the love of my life to an unfortunate accident.
What was this lady's name?
I meant to write that down. What's her name? Petra. I think. Petra, yes. We're gonna go with Petra. I think that was it. And so I have left the Gladiatorial Coliseum to fulfill her dream. She always wanted to be an adventurer. So, because she cannot do it, I shall go out and live her dream for her to always keep her close to me.
So you would say that she's an adventurer. She had the adventurous spirit.
Yes, but she never got to experience.
Oh.
That's most of what I have right now.
No, that's good.
I am about 6'2", and honestly, I am just a mountain of muscle from my years of training. I have a military-style buzz cut, it's just a little bit longer at the front. I have a brutal face with scars, but you can also see that I have quite a few smile lines, and I am a happy person. I am covered in scars, basically from head to toe, from my many, many battles. But I am always kind and always trying to have fun and enjoy life to the best of my ability.
That's beautiful, man.
And that is Varro Pendergast.
That's pretty cool. I love it.
Fellas, I think right now that's just... I'm not gonna lie. Like, my brain's making connections with stuff inside the module and with what you're saying. And so, like... Yeah.
Yeah.
It's making me tingle. I'm getting the chills, okay? It's just... That's what I'm saying.
I like making you tingle.
Yeah. Moving on. Jeez.
Alright, I'm gonna choose my personality traits, ideal bonds, and flaws right now.
Your background. What's your background?
Gladiator.
Oh, okay.
Gladiator.
Oh, so that's actual. Okay. Yeah.
I mean, I love the entertainment aspect of it and everything, and I always try to give the crowd a good show.
Well, see, the cool thing is like now I can pick up this book instead of flipping through a digital thing and say, all right, well, I can look in the back here and lick the finger and just be like, all right, so G, let me see, D, E, F, G. Nice. I like a good index, guys. I really do.
Sweet, two of these are perfect.
Page 131. So we have folk hero. Nice. This is kind of dope.
Mm-hmm. Call me vanilla.
Stop. Hey, you know what? I still play. Humans are dope, man. I'm just telling you, they're dope.
It's one of the few races I haven't like really played or even thought about playing. So I'm like, hey, you know what? I'm gonna go for it.
Just as I have never played an elf.
Even though you act like one, to be honest with you.
I have no idea.
Listen to you.
The same thing.
That's what I love most about this. This is awesome. All right, Christopher, it is your turn. Give us what you got, bud. Fa-fa-fur.
So what am I giving again?
Your character's appearance and background and your just
The time has come.
You're pretty excited about this in the car, so.
My name is Fargeros Horfrost. Horfrost, please get that right. My hair is orange with strips of brown, kind of tattered within the ends of my hair. It's short, but tends to stick up. I'm a book, and I like to read, or my heads are in the book, I should say. And my skin is a light jaundice. I'm not sick. It's just yellow. Smooth skin. And with my eyes, they're light gray with a ring of blue around the edges. But I'm a bit taller than most elves, but still very slender. I'm about 148 pounds and 5'10" height. Male, obviously. And I'm actually 110 years old. I'm 10 years from my coming of adulthood. There's nothing I like more than a good mystery or a good read. I like to boast I've read about pretty much anything, but I know there's so much more out there.
Oh dear.
There's 4 languages I actually speak. Elvish, Goblin, and I write fluently in these as well. Infernal, I dabble in Infernal. That was just something I kind of came across. And Gnomish. So, you might be wondering, well, my family, I work with my father, reluctantly, but I serve my mother and my sisters as they take care of the Hoarfrost Tomes and Trinkets Library. My father works with many revered researchers of arcanic colleges around the neighboring eastern parts of Everhurst?
Mm-hmm.
Is that right? Okay, Everhurst, the city, bustling with people coming in and out searching for tomes that he would hire out of the guild to go and find and sell at high prices. It's a good business. Um, However, the city life isn't always something I enjoy. Though I like to talk to people, I find the time to go out in the outskirts of the forest where my sister Carletta helps me with wood crafting and just to make a little hut outside of the noise of the city. I like it to write my scripts and to research spells, things I don't understand. I take the time to listen and read like my mother taught me. She's a wonderful teacher and she loves languages. And can't forget my younger sister, Yara. She's such a delicate creature and she loves to bind books. She's very good at calligraphy. She loves what she does for my mother and my father, of course. He always asks for her to take care of the best clients with needing books binded perfectly to such design. She's so clever at a young age. And again, that's why she's named Yar. When she's older and reaches 100 years old, she will be able to choose her name and choose whether or not Garros will become part of her name. But yeah, it is I, Fargeros Hoarfrost, and I'm a wizard of trade. There you go.
Well done, sir. I'm taking
done.
notes. I'm taking notes as for the future for as we do this, which
Yeah,
I probably should have
my
done.
mother's
at the beginning.
name is Sargeros. Or no, my father's name's Sargeros and my mother's name's Loretta. I didn't say my mother's name. I forgot that. And that's actually something that's an elven thing, is where Yara is kind of her first part of her name, a child name, and then whenever she grows up, she can choose to either be Yargeros or I think Yarletta. She can choose whichever. It's kind of a tradition.
Good.
But yeah, we own the library. There you go. Cool.
I should have stated, Derek, we were going to do that in character, but I didn't, so that's fine. But he did. You guys did really, really, really well. Yeah, the gritty Derek actually sounds really good for this character. And every time I saw this guy's face, I just saw a 6'2" version of you. I know it's a bit of a stretch, but still. But all right, guys. It is.
Hang on. Say that one more time for me, please.
Which part?
My mother walked in, as you said, something about a guttural Derek.
No, a gritty Derek.
Gritty Derek.
Yeah, is this kind of like
I don't know what you mean by that, but okay.
just more gritty and gruff. Not that you smile any less, just more gritty and gruff. All right, guys, that's good work. It is almost 8 o'clock, so what we're gonna do is we are going to take a break, replenish your liquids, use the bathroom, and when we come back, we are going to start the adventure.
Do we want to do equipment, or how would you like to run that? I think we can do multiple ways, but
You're level 6.
they have the starting equipment that you can just choose. We could just do that.
Normally, for the sake of time, I'm gonna go ahead and just do starting equipment. That's fine. If
Let's see.
I'd like to think that at this point you would have a magical item.
I think my spell book. Oh well, arcane focus actually would be my. Actually, it does say for spells when I'm casting it, arcane focus can be used in instead of a component pouch or item, depending on what it is.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'll tell you what. when we come back, one more break, you guys can do the standard equipment, and I'll let you guys choose one magical item that you can have, and have you present that when we come back. And we'll come back at 8 o'clock, and we will move on with that. Sound good?
Sounds great.
All
Good.
right,
Looking for
guys.
magical items. Got it.
To give you a little bit more of an opportunity to... Yeah, because at this point, like, I didn't think about that, but you know what, that's true. And so, yeah.
I think I'm just gonna choose a wand. We'll see.
So, we're gonna take a break, and we'll come back. It's quarter till in about 15 minutes. I'm excited where this goes, and for the future of it. Again, all this excitement, probably to massive nervousness. But that being said, we'll be back in just a moment, and we will get started. All right.
Bye.
No, not bye. Just
no,
be
we're
right
coming back.
Oh my god. See you later. No, stop. Stop.
Come to run, crocodile.
That's what I'm talking about.
Wait! Okay, now, from the beginning.
Hit it, boys.
This place, that'll rock this place, that'll rock this place, rock this place, rock this place, rock this
From the beginning. this place, that'll rock this place, that'll rock this place, rock this place, rock this place, rock this
All right, guys, welcome back. So, in the intermittent, our characters are now ready, and we're going to jump into the murder at Moonviel Manor. So, pull up you guys. So you're in the main screen there. If you got any questions. Dice pin. Nice. Like I said, don't forget to update your character, Chris, when you get a minute. Actually, let's go ahead and have you do that first so that you can focus on what I'm saying. If you guys just make sure that there's a lot of detail in this, so if you need to pull up anything to help hear better, that's fine. Actually, if you miss something, go ahead and type it in the chat while I speak, and I'll just go ahead and pause or something like that. So.
Yeah, I need to put my spells in here, so I try to figure that out real quick.
Okay.
See what that does.
Derek, did you get everything put in there that you needed to?
I believe so, yes.
Okay. It's not like gonna be a super big deal you guys will have next week. This one is just to kind of introduce it, and there'll be a nice to introduce kind of the story and kind of establish where things are.
I even have a description of my armor.
Nice.
Remind me, how much does that intelligence thing give you?
I think it does it when you click on it in D&D Beyond, does it give you?
It doesn't specify. It just says that your intelligence score is 19 while you wear it. Oh. It just makes it 19. So are you sure you want me to have that? That seems a little overpowered.
No, that's fine. Yeah, that's fine.
In that case, if you're okay with it, can I edit my...
It should make it already 19.
No, like my, because I technically can choose where my score goes for my...
It didn't change it from 18 to 19?
No, I'm saying my ability score improvement, I can actually choose where it goes into.
Yes. I see. I know. Yeah. Okay.
Do you get what I'm saying? So, like, since I'm having this ability to wear this thing, I'm probably just going to assume I'm going to be wearing it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I just want to be able to know if I can change the scores where I would have had intelligence, but I didn't know that. Does that make sense?
Not really, no.
Instead of boosting like your charisma to 19, you're gonna boost one of your lower scores to something a little bit better.
Right.
Yep.
Oh.
From his like feats and stuff.
So you want? Well, it's a headband of an intellect. That's, unless. Show me what you're talking about, Chris.
So I have a thing where it says when I reach level 4, and again at 8.
Oh,
well,
yeah,
you
can
I
put
can
that.
choose where the scores go.
Yeah. Yeah.
Are you okay if I just change where they go so it gives me a little varied score?
Oh, yeah, you can. For that ability points, you can put that wherever you like.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure since I'm wearing it, because I put it towards intelligence, but then it's like, well, if I'm having this, I might as well just.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
I just wanted to make sure I'm not like.
Give yourself more HP or whatever. That's fine.
Yeah, I was thinking I might put it towards charisma just to help us a little bit here.
Okay.
So. Yeah, because I think that was my lowest one anyway.
Oh, that's fine.
Let me look at that. Let me get my spells, and we should be good. Yeah, that's good.
I thought you already picked your spells. I guess you didn't, huh?
No, it didn't give me the option when I was doing it to... Wait, what? Oh, manage spells. I guess I have to go into the...
Yep.
Oh, golly.
What are you eating, Derek?
Pasta with scallops.
Wow.
I should say, since I've moved, my mother has cooked like almost every day, and my food has gone up so much in the quality and goodness.
Are you working out with us tomorrow?
I don't even know what day it is anymore, man.
It's Saturday. Saturday.
I gotta double check to see if we might be doing something tomorrow. I don't know.
Yeah, working out.
Yeah, working out.
Pick your spells. Don't sass.
Sorry.
You don't get to sass until you're done. No dessert before dinner.
Where's
Seriously.
the quick option here? I don't want sorcerer. Give me wizard.
While he's doing that, Shane, I want to ask you a question.
Okay.
What did you mean? You said gruff Draco? What was the phrase? What did you?
Gruff.
Which
Or gritty.
Draco is that?
Gritty
Gritty Draco.
Derek. Yeah.
Derek.
Your voice just sounds a bit gruffer, like, you know, it's one of these things to where, like, you know, from a lot of yelling, it's sometimes a bit hoarse. You just kind of grittier from grunting and, you know, being out there and fighting for your life and screaming and a lot of, you know, use of the vocalness. So it's kind of a deeper. I mean, that's my first impression. Obviously, you can go with whatever you like.
No, I'll try. I'll try that. I really wasn't gonna use a voice, but I'll try that. I was gonna go maybe a little bit deeper. Okay, I got a plan. Maybe.
I got a plan. Maybe. Crap. I don't know if I have a plan. I might have a plan.
I got 27% of a plan.
Still better than most people, truth be told.
Magic hand, light. Yeah, light. Okay. I didn't know I get so many spells. Well.
Oh, you get
You're level 6, man.
prepare what? I think that's 12 spells or something.
Wow.
Yeah, well, you're playing a wizard, so, I mean, you're a wizard, Harry. You're going to have a ton of spells. That's kind of like your thing. Guess you didn't think that one through, huh?
I'm a muggle.
I guess I'll do frostbite. Sure.
Are you sure about that?
Well, I was getting ready to
Yeah.
say, like, if you're having issues with, like, picking your spells and stuff like that...
No. I was just... Forgot I get so many, actually. Because I have, like, 4 cantrips plus an extra one.
Okay, well... Focus
good,
on doing
okay.
that, that's fine.
Yeah.
So...
Just give me 2 minutes here, maybe.
All right, we're counting 2 minutes. You heard it now, chat. Which I don't have a chat. There's only 2 people like watching this stream, and chances are, it's
I'm one.
and probably Derek is the other. Yeah.
But that's all right.
I mean, 2's better than nothing. You know, for a while there, I feel like what would happen is like...
1 is the loneliest number. Alone.
No, stop. Get out. I hear that. I mean, it could be 0. Can we just take a minute to thank Todd Howard for this amazing music?
Oh my gosh.
While we wait for McCheeto to do his thing.
Oh, I know.
It's okay. It's okay. This is part of the fun. Can't move.
Well, I don't know. I think he feels stressed because he's kind of like, you know.
Don't feel stressed. Don't feel stressed.
Well, I don't know most of these spells, but I'm just kind of going through and picking what I think would...
Well, you did choose one of the more challenging classes.
All right. Feel stressed. Feel stressed.
No, I'm fine. I'm completely fine.
So he chose a School of Evocation.
Ooh.
You focus your studies on magic that creates powerful elemental effects such as bitter cold, searing flame, rolling thunder, crackling lightning, and burning acid. Well, I guess it'd be kind of weird, right, to have freezing acid? No! Don't freeze me with that acid! Yeah, I'm freezing! That's kind of hilarious. Beginning when you start this school at 2nd level, the gold and time you must spend to copy an evocation spell in your spellbook is halved. Wow. Potent cantrip. Starting at 6th level, your damaging cantrip effects when creatures that avoid the brunt of the effect. Can't affect even creatures that would avoid. Okay. When a creature succeeds on saving throws against your cantrip, the creature takes half of the cantrip's damage, if any, but suffers no additional effect from the cantrip. Wow, you get empowered as well. 10th level.
I feel the power.
That's what you remind me of, is He-Man now. He-Man!
He-Man!
Oh wow, over channel. Starting at level 14, you can increase the power of your simpler spells. When you cast a wizard spell of 1st through 5th level, which includes fireballs, for those who are wondering, you can deal maximum damage with that spell. The first time you do so, you suffer no adverse effect. If you use this feature again before you finish a long rest, you take 2d12 necrotic damage for each level of the spell immediately after you cast it. Each time you use this feature again before finishing a long rest, the necrotic damage per spell is increased by 1d12. This damage ignores resistance and immunity. Wow. So if you want to go out in a blaze of glory, this is the one for you.
I'm gonna do detect thoughts. That's gonna be interesting.
And because Shane said it, one is the loneliest number.
Oh my gosh, you're gonna get my channel kicked because, like, oh well, that right there, you'll see. That is a copyright strike. Oh, because that is not your song. You did not come up with it. Oh yeah. What if I did, YouTube?
What I understand, you can sing it as long as you don't play it.
Oh really? So what if I record myself singing all of these old songs? That'd be hilarious.
Yeah, you can. People do that. Like, people do that all the time.
Okay, question. How many spells can I know?
So,
Say at the top.
at 6th level, you have 4 cantrips, 4 first level, 3 second level, and 3 third level.
Oh, so the spell slots.
Yep.
Oh, wait.
So I have 10.
Hold on.
Is that
You can
correct?
have 10 prepared spells.
But what, like, spells I can learn?
Yeah, that you
I would
learn and
learn.
can use immediately. The other ones you have to, like,
It depends, like, their casting
Oh,
time.
okay. It actually cuts it off. Okay, I wasn't sure if it was just gonna give me as many as I want. I was like,
Nope.
okay, that's cool.
Oh wow, it doesn't have on here spells known in the thing. It is cantrips known, but spell slots per level you get 433. Or 433. But it doesn't tell me how many.
3329.
So the real question is, how many do you know? That's a very good question.
What?
I can't wait to describe my character when he enters.
Yeah, that's not something I would know. What's an evocation? Give me an evocation. Where's it at? Alright, it's taking a little longer than I thought.
Well, yeah, should have been prepared. No, I'm just kidding.
All part of the process.
It really is. There's cantrips known, but I don't actually see in here where it's how many that you actually do know. They just give you.
Cantrip should automatically almost be filled out. Some of them because of whatever other classes and backstory things and feats and stuff.
Yeah, but normally it's just like, what are you saying? You know all the spells? Like, no, you probably don't know all of them. But
No.
like, there used to be a thing that says how many spells do you actually know, and it doesn't actually have in here. Like, I'm not seeing the.
Oh, wait. So, where is it? There is a thing where all the spells you know at first level, second level, third level, and then from those you can pick which ones you want to prepare for the day.
Right, but you're saying that you have all the spells ever known, because
Not
like
ever.
because like back in the day you actually had to cast these.
So let's see here. How they did it was
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out what the limit is because from the way it looks like I can keep adding them. So I was like, I thought maybe it
Go
would
to
limit that,
it,
or is it based
limits,
on my
like,
intelligence? I thought that was a thing.
like just keep picking, and eventually it will not allow you to pick anymore.
I think it's based on my intelligence score.
It could be. Shane, if
One
you
of
want,
you look that up and see if that is while I'm still picking these out? Because I think
You
that's
know,
what it is.
you're a wizard, correct?
I'm a wizard, Harry.
Tag nabbit.
Yeah. Yes, I'm a wizard.
The next
I
person.
think I think it is based on intelligence. How many you have?
Well, let me.
I think it's a combination of multiple factors.
Here we go. Intelligence. Wizards use intelligence as their spell casting ability, which helps them determine the savings throw of their spells. It doesn't actually say in the back here. So, what we
Hold on,
do,
I'm going to the page.
let's go to Google.
So the wizard table shows how many spell slots you have to cast for several. You prepare the list of wizard spells that are available for you to cast. To do so, choose a number of wizard spells. Da 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 da. So I think it's just based on your level and your thing. Shane, if you go to page 207 in your PHB,
Which one? Which page?
Player's Handbook,
No, which page?
207.
Two 204, 208, 207. So I'm reading this online. That depends on what you mean by no. If you mean have available in their spell books, then as the other answers indicate, there's no limit.
Yeah.
But which ones you can actually use, that's different. So
right,
in other words,
choose which ones I use.
right. So choose the ones that you're going to use for that day, and that's a very interesting note here on 3.5. And 3.5, there was a you could only know so many spells, and from those spells you could cast those if you haven't prepared. So if you can only use 3 spells, but 6, you have to choose the 3 that you're going to use, which it's different now. Good to know.
Now what it does is every level you gain more spells to your list. So once he reaches level 7, he'll add like 15 more spells he can choose from. Same for level 8 and level 9. So it's based on your level as how many spells you know and can prepare.
Where's that at?
Go to page 210.
Is it bad that I'm just clicking learn for all of these?
No, as long as if you got the space for it.
See,
I wanted to see if it would just give me all of them. It did give me all of them.
Of all the cantrips you have, obviously there's more than 5 there, right? And
yeah,
then,
see, it limits me on those.
Well, these are the ones you've had prepared, is what I'm saying.
See, that is weird. There's no differentiation between which one is prepared and which one isn't. That's what's confusing me for some reason.
Well, all of them, but I think that if you, it's a matter of which one are you going to use, which I think that.
Are you sharing your screen?
Oh.
I don't think he is. No.
Share your screen, shoot up on.
Okay, so I have to go to the spell book, and then it gives me the option to click which ones I prepare for.
Okay.
So I mean, do you want to say I know all of these?
Well, it's not a
'Cause it
matter of
gives me-
it's not a matter of how many that you know. It's how many that you have prepared.
You can know
That's
everything.
that's what I'm saying. Can I just say I've learned all of these, but I would have to prepare
That's
which
what
ones I
yeah,
want to
yes.
use?
That's exactly what it
Okay.
is. So you know,
Okay.
you just have to.
For the cantrips, those are specific. They stay the same. Those don't
Yes.
change. Because cantrips, you don't choose those every day. You just know them. Spellbook, I know these spells, but I would have to prepare them because for a wizard, it requires time and meditation and memorizing of the spell to actually use it. You know, does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, so that's what I'm gonna do. Okay.
Victory! We have victory!
Victory.
So have you pictures, or are you still doing that?
Well, I just clicked learn for all of them because they weren't populating, so I had to.
Oh, that's weird. It should have auto-populated beat.
That's the thing.
Based
It
on your
didn't.
level.
Yeah, that was the thing. So I now have it. So I
Stupid
got-
game.
Thank you, D&D Beyond, for. Well,
Disguised.
We're certainly learning tonight. That's for sure. Certain.
Yeah. Now I understand why this was interesting.
I was like, technically, you shouldn't have to learn. That's why I was really confused when it's asking you to share
Well,
your screen. Because I'm like, it shouldn't have done that.
Because the thing is like, it's because of, it's the version conversion is what it is. Because
Well, and
like,
I might not have seen it too. I don't know if it.
but all right, well, go ahead and pick your spells, bud. Let us know when you're ready.
Yeah, give me just a second. Gotta choose
Yeah,
explore.
don't say a time. Do not say a time limit. Honestly, what I rolled fits for my stats and everything is perfect for my background. And I love it. It's amazing.
Oh wow. Okay, I'll choose that one. How many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. One more. Gotta memorize these spells. Okay, I think I'm ready.
Are you though? Are you ready for this awesomeness that's
Well-
about to go down?
Just make sure again that you guys keep pen and paper and start taking notes. If you have questions, please do ask.
Yes, Sensei.
But also, yeah, be aware that try and stay in character as much as possible.
Yes, Sensei.
Indubitably. Cool. All right. Oh, let's make sure this is good. Got the link. Discord, do your magic thing. How do you Beyond, right?
Yep.
And it didn't copy the link. How dare you?
Copied all those spells and can't copy one little link.
Please work. Okay, let me make sure I got everything equipped here. Quarterstaff, I guess I can equip that, right?
Wow,
Crystal.
that's a fancy picture.
Yeah, I found one. I was like, okay, I think that works.
Oh, why can't I do this crap like that? Because I'm not cool enough.
You have the program. Use program. Oh my gosh.
Have what?
My poor AC.
That's what he did. He put he found a
Yeah, I just found an image and cropped it so it would fit nicely. You can go find one. Just Google one real quick. I'm just making sure I got everything listed. I don't have any tools or armor. I guess I don't really need armor or tools. Would I have armor, Shane?
no.
No.
I don't think I would.
At some point, you can use mage armor, I think it is.
Should still
Well,
be able to use
I
it.
have the spell, so I can cast it on myself to add AC if I wanted to. So one day.
Okay, I found a picture. How do I use it? What do I do? Hold on.
Oh my gosh, see what you done, Chris.
I wanted a picture, okay?
No, that's fine.
For this, since my crystal is kind of like a, would it be a jewel per se
So
for the sake of roleplay?
if you want it to be, that's fine.
Can I have a jeweler's tool?
Do you do a jewel work?
I want to say that because of my mother giving this to me, I've taken care of it for so many years, being 100 years old, or 110, excuse me. That's something I would have played. I would have definitely been taking care of it. I would have had something that would have.
Polished it. No, that's fine.
Just for the sake of this. I don't know what's really in it, per se, but just for the sake of it, we'll play with roleplay on it. I guess I could look it up, couldn't I? Jeez. I figure I kind of just like examine it and out of curiosity, trying to figure it out more and more. I guess it doesn't say in there. I should be in the system though.
Did you find your...
Let me update it again, make sure it's... What's that?
I was talking to
Ah.
Derek.
I mean, I found a picture. I just don't know how to use it.
So crop it and save it somewhere, and then you're going to go to your D&D Beyond, click the portrait, and it should allow you to change
You
portrait.
should be able to use a direct link, aren't you? Or no?
You should just choose file. It'll give you an option to choose the file in your like a downloads folder or something. It says it has to be about 150 by 150 pixels, but I just cropped it over the face and mid face and body and did it that way. And that should work.
I'm just gonna use this picture for it right now. It works.
These special tools include the items needed to pursue a craft or trade. Unless you
I mean, I don't think you necessarily would have it because you're not pursuing a crafter's trade. I mean, just a little bit of polish and stuff like that would probably be fine for what you have. You use it every day, so it's kind of one of these things where it's in probably impeccable condition anyway. So
I would just say, like, my mom gave me a kit. I don't necessarily use all of it. I just use it to take care of it. I don't per se have a knowledge of jewels and stuff like that. We'll just say that if that's okay.
I mean, if that's the case, then your character probably would just go and get it polished anyway, if that's the case. But either way you look at it, it's probably fine at this point. It's splitting hairs.
Oh, it's just for fun. I don't get to play with all the little things that they throw in here.
I mean, probably eventually you will.
Hopefully.
Well, and that's the thing about it, because I'm not sure. That's the other thing about this is, yeah.
I don't know how to crop. But we don't have to worry about it, so we can do this later.
So, what do we got, guys? Are we ready?
I think I'm ready.
Because we have an hour and a half.
Ready, Derek?
Yep, I'm ready.
All right.
Let's do the thing.
There it is. It finally started to load. Cool.
We don't need to be in fantasy grounds or anything, correct?
No. There shouldn't be any fighting tonight. Unless I don't have anything planned, to be honest with you.
See, you said it, now I gotta make something. No, I'm kidding.
If you do, most likely it's not going to be, it's probably going to be one-on-one at this point.
I almost chose Bar Brawler. That's
Oh
what
my
my
gosh.
family is like. I'm gonna make Shane Bar Brawl me.
Until you fight the bare knuckle champion of Everhost, and all of a sudden you get knocked out in like 2 hits, and you're like, "What happened?"
Yeah, no way, no way.
Level 17 monk with fist wraps of +5, kick your face in. Yeah, it's pretty sure he's gonna knock your teeth in 2 blows.
Got. Varro does not back down.
Yeah, until he gets kicked the crap out
I was
of.
gonna say Varro's unconscious on the floor. It doesn't matter what's happening now. He's drooling out of his mouth. He's unconscious. Hold on. Just to make sure, let me roll my nice new hefty dice. Oh man. Oh yeah. 2 natural 20s in a row.
Two natural 20s in a row?
No.
I want proof.
It's actually a 15 and a 16. But with a +6, I'm pretty sure he's hitting your armor class. So.
Oh.
Okay, I think I'm ready.
To go to bed or to play? I don't know.
Yeah,
It's-
with that, I'm gonna go to
play.
bed.
To play.
I know the feeling, though. I slept like 3 hours.
Oh my gosh. Take care of yourself.
No wonder why you don't want to go work out tomorrow.
The thing is, I want to. I need. I'm supposed to be helping my mother. I've been helping her move stuff, go clean out my grandmother's house to be sold and everything.
Hey, we have some weights that you need to pick up and put back
But
down.
it's chess tomorrow.
Oh man, well maybe he's just too weak in the chest. He can't do it like he used to. Maybe, I don't know. We'll keep the hazing to a minimum. Actually, now that I think about it, if we're ever gonna get through this, holy crap! I mean that's good, but I'm itching to do some role play. That sounds worse than what I actually meant it to. Thank you, Skyrim.
Fog arrows, horror.
Yeah,
Let's do this.
You're not in the scene yet. Just calm down.
I know. I'm just getting into character.
Yeah, you can do that a little bit more quietly. Just kidding, man. Just kidding.
I work in a library. Don't tell me how to do my job.
Then
DM
you must.
says keep hazing to a minimum, then hazes immediately after.
Oh, I can roll some damage on you. You start off the adventure with minus. Let me.
A whole shelf falls on my head. I died.
Oh gosh, good thing my stomach didn't catch that one. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I'm actually kind of glad my metal dice actually don't have the pips. They have the numbers. It makes it just like, okay, 3 and 5. Okay. Instead of
Yeah, I know, right? It's just stupid. I love them.
Instead of counting the pips. Actually, I got some D6s in Chinese, just because I'm Asian.
There you go.
So
You overachieving. No, I'm just kidding.
yeah, no, I know I can read Chinese like numbers. Like, oh, that's a okay, yeah.
All right.
Let's do this.
In the quaint little town of Everhost, the sun has set, but the lights are still going off as fireworks explode overhead. The town is in celebration. Their town, rich in trade, has recently come under ruthless attacks from a dangerous Eton in the western part of the city, along the western roads. If they're under attack, then why they party? Because just that following fortnight, brave adventurers from the town and beyond mounted together to deal a decisive blow against the nuisance that is this giant. Among them, the two surviving heroes of the warband are at the local tavern enjoying their feasting and revelry. They drink, they talk, they laugh. And as they do, a messenger from one of the more prevalent houses in Everhost comes bearing a note for both of them. As they open up and read it, it is a invitation to another celebratory feast held by Lord Bergstaff. The patrons around these two warriors, these two local town folks, are surprised and shocked and aghast as they read the invitation over their shoulders. Enclosed in said invitation is a hastily drawn map of where they must go. This, of course, reignites the celebratory feast they were already having that went rather late into the night. The next day, they gathered their stuff, donned their finest apparel to make ready for their celebratory feast. You walk over cobblestone streets of the bustling city, following the hastily scribbled map in your hands. Stepping past a large collection of market stalls, vendors, and tradesmen, you exit the beautiful, vibrant city of Everhost through one of its many archways. The cobblestones giving way to natural dirt roads that meander across the green countryside. Looking out over the hills, you can see many fields full of livestock, grazing away happily among the wildflowers that border the forest. Along your way, you notice the crowd thinning, until finally, you're left alone with strangers that walk beside you, following their own maps, until you realize you're seemingly heading towards the same direction. A heavily wrought iron gate, open and leaning against two large gnarled oak trees, grow through the railings. A few awkward moments pass as you exchange glances before an excitable shout rings out down the lane. Welcome, welcome! Glad you all could make it! Albeit a bit late, but, that's understandable, given my terrible directions. A tall, elderly half-elf greets you, gesturing to you all further up the lane towards the grand manor sitting within the trees. The air, thick with musk and lavender, hits you as you all step into the wooden floors in the reception. Without a beat, you are all quickly ushered into a quiet sitting room, books lining a few of the walls and multiple armchairs, sofas and general seating scattered oddly around the room. Sitting in one of the armchairs closest to the fire, you see a human woman glance up at you before going back to her notes, whilst an older-looking noblewoman scoffs at your late entry across the room. Lounging back on one of the sofas, you see two elderly gentlemen laughing together, much to the disgust of the haughty nobleman picking through the books behind them. Opposite, you see a meek but smiling young tiefling woman perched on the edge of another armchair, clearly invested in the whatever conversation had brought the gentleman to laughter. The high elf smiles as he ushers you all forward. As you take your respective seats around the room, you hear the old man clear his throat, spread his arms wide. He nods across all of you in appreciation. Well, now that the rest of our guests have arrived, I suppose I should introduce myself. My name is Lord Burkstaff, and welcome to Moonviel Manor. Everyone claps in some fashion or another, some more excitedly than others, some more perturbed, some excited to be part of the festivities. As you guys stand there, you look at the many different patrons, their varying age and ranges. What would you guys like to do?
Are we the two heroes?
Yes.
Okay.
I have a quick question, Shane. You said so. There's Lord Burkstaff. He's the one that's greeting everyone here. How many people are in the room?
There are two.
Just to recap, because I might have missed.
There are four.
4.
Mhm.
So there's Lord Burkstaff, us 2, and then there's
I guess with him
4
that'd be-
other people, or 3 other people.
Besides Lord Burkstaff and you, there are
I heard there's a high elf, tiefling, and the elderly gentleman.
there's two elderly gentlemen, they're brothers.
Yeah, the 2 of them.
Mm-hmm. So those
are the 4.
There's 2 women. There is the tiefling, and then the 2 brothers. So 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 5 plus 8 total.
Is that including us?
Correct.
Oh, you said there's an elderly woman?
Mhm.
That's not including the 2 women, is that correct? Or did
Okay.
I miss here?
There's Lord Burkstaff.
Right,
There
okay.
is a noble woman and an older lady.
No. Okay.
She appears human. And there's 2 older men and a tiefling.
Did you say there's another high elf?
Lord Burkstaff is a high elf.
Oh, okay. That's what I misunderstood. Okay. Oh, so he's like me.
But a lot older.
A lot older. Would I know how old he is? Just by looking at him?
Make a perception check. If you like. Ali.
Hold on. Gosh, I forget that I can just check perception.
From,
12.
from what you can tell, he's probably about the same age, if not a little bit older than your dad, than your father.
I would put him about 500. Probably. He's an older, kind of in his, I guess that would be like his mid-age. Is 500, or correct me if that's, what would you consider mid-age? Because I think they get up to 700 or 900 or something. Right?
750 is the max, basically the max age. So he's
Oh, we'll say 400. Close to 400.
Would you look there at what just walked in the room? They're just standing there, looking off into space. Well, I suppose they're trying to catch a glimpse of something. Can't imagine what, though. Well, I don't know. Maybe one's,
Looks like aggravating staring with the intent to gawk.
Oh, I see what you did there. I was just thinking, and I don't like crowns per se, but I just taking a look at the room. It's
Yeah, that's the
crafted.
problem with you young folks these days. They can't see the forest. All the trees are in the way. Well, if that's the truth, if I ever heard it. The two men start laughing in an explosion of laughter, and to the side you see the little tiefling. She smiles. She's not exactly sure what she's laughing at, but she's smiling.
So
Interesting wisdom. I'm gonna write that down. And I just take my piece of parchment paper and ink, and I just kind of start scribbling whatever I remember them saying.
as he does that, I'm going to walk over towards them, and just to get a picture, I am a hulking figure in full plate armor with a long sword at my side, a great battle axe on my back, and a war hammer at the other side. With this kind of sour, scarred face, just walking over. I'm gonna get there and look down at them, or look at them.
As you look at them, no, thank you, young fella. I don't need any hardware for my kitchen. Thank you, though. And the two of them just start laughing and giggling at you, as you walk up to them.
You two are very funny. Yes.
As
What
you,
are your names?
as you laugh, the whole entire room beneath you, like it just shakes the wood because of your weight, and it shakes the table. The noble woman behind you is like, "Well, I never," and she starts to hold like her teacup and some of the things down as you sit there. The lady looking at the books turns her head, says nothing, but just stares at you. As if a ray of cold has hit your body, you feel a slight chill down your throat. That just as if her preferred way of communicating are nasty looks and scowls.
This is the noble woman?
This is the lady looking at the books. She, I guess technically they're both noble women.
Or the older woman?
The younger of the two, yes.
So the younger one's looking at the books scoldingly.
Yeah. Well, we're the Fairbrand brothers. Yeah, maybe make sure it's Fairbrand. You know, like brand. I expect better from you. Oh, come on. Sometimes I don't always have the best days.
I see what you did there. It was very funny. Lord Burkstoff, correct? I'm addressing him.
You're vastly familiar with, having lived in the area. You're vastly familiar with who he is and one of these celebratory parties. I
was gonna ask if he remembers me. It's been a little while since I've talked to him and seen him.
Vero, on the other hand, is rather new to the area. He's only been there for probably the last 10 or so years in the general area. But yes. So he's not as familiar with him.
Point of clarification, it is Varro.
Varro.
So what you said, I've been in the area for 10 years?
Roughly. You've been in the general area, but...
I'm I mean, I've been in surrounding village, like
Yeah.
surrounding-
Farragos actually
But I've never
lives in
really
this
been
town.
here, okay.
Yeah. Because there's trade routes and there's moving everywhere, I would say that you've most likely spent you know of the town. You've probably been in here for supplies at some degree or another.
As also a way to fight it.
Right. Because there's so much trade going on in this city. You might even you kind of recognize Farragos, but only because one of your companions dragged you there to get something, but it's kind of roughly in passing. You're slightly familiar with him. Lord Burks, go ahead.
I was gonna say I'm only about like 25, 26 years old.
Yeah, so depends on what age you started. Most start when they're in their teens, I want to say.
Yeah, I started a little bit later. I started in my 20s. I think I'm 20. I'm gonna say 26. Spent 5 years working my way up as a gladiator. I spent the last year trying to adventure, which is what brought me here to this fight, and just help people out things and explore the world. So I'm not super familiar with it, but I've been places.
Okay. Burkstaff turns and is like, "Ah, yes, you're Saragos's boy. I know you and your sister. What's her name? Yara. But of course. Bright young lady. She, as you can see, I have quite the collection of books. She does quite good work. It is a rather shame she's been missing these last few years. Terrible news. I miss her tactile touch. My books have never looked better. Such a shame. How are you holding up? Any clues as to her whereabouts?
Yeah, I have a rough idea of where she might have gone to. I wouldn't be surprised if she's out in the woods in the outskirts taking care of herself. She's a smart girl, very delicate. After father got upset, he, you know how his character is, he kind of scared her off and she wandered on her own. And
well, I tell you, I cooperated. I gave the guards as much information as I could. She came here, she worked on books, and she left. It pains me to lose such a wonderful girl. It really does. But I tell you, if there's anything you need at your disposal, I am here for you, young lad. It's painfully terrible to lose such a wonderful young lady at her age. It's quite horrible, truly.
yes, she's not even an adult yet. But
So
we will find her.
as you are talking, the older of the two noblewomen approaches you. So, you're Saragos's boy, I see. Well, at least our benefactor here has some class in who he invites, and like the walking meat tenderizer over there. Birds of a feather, as they say, flock together.
You might be surprised what he's capable of, though. He's, yes, big and brutish, but he gets the job done. He's got a skill set.
But of course he does. Did you see how that brute went down? It was quite marvelous indeed. Quite a display. You know, I am normally against the gladiator pits, but it seems like in this particular instance, they've produced quite a formidable force for the side of good, of course, you see. As I was privy to the body after, and I will tell you this. Quite remarkable. The cuts, the blows, heard it all firsthand myself. Happy to have you in my midst. Have you met the rest of Miss Silverhall has always graces us with her presence? Harriet! Miss Lockwell, come speak to our guests. The lady Lockwell, you see she's verbally annoyed. And she, with one finger, pushes a book back into the case and turns and looks and acknowledges both Lady Silverhall and the other lady and Lord Berkstaff. And she simply says, charmed, and returns to her books. You are familiar with Lady Silverhall, the older of the women who walked up to you, and you're familiar with who she is. And you've seen her at parties with your father, as a matter of fact, being one of the upper echelon of the group.
You said Harriet Lockwell was the one that pushed the book?
Correct. And Lady Silverhall is the lady who is currently talking to you yourself and to Lord Berkstaff.
Gotcha. And I do kind of a bow, just a sign of respect to Lady Silverhall. It is a pleasure to see you again, Lady Silverhall.
Yes. As she puts her hand out daintily and allows you to
Gentle kiss.
gentle kiss.
And I gracefully let go of her hand. I kind of glance over at Harriet Lockwell. I don't know if she catches eye, but I'm visibly kind of annoyed at her. I just kind of give this glaring eye because I can, the way she treated the book on the wall, there's a bit of like disrespect in my, like just the way she's been acting. Can I make an insight check, actually, on her?
Yes.
Because of that, because I kind of glance and I see how she's treated the book, and I'm kind of like, I'm just kind of locked eyes on her for a moment to kind of see why she's having an attitude. It may not be an attitude, but I perceive it that way because of how she treats
No need to
book.
explain. That's fine.
Okay.
So I'll let you go ahead and do that.
Oof. Oh, there it is. 7.
Sir, excuse me, sir. Varro. Wow, man, I'm messing up his name.
Varro, yeah.
Varro
Yes,
turns to see around, and as you turn around boisterously, she kind of cowers. Sir, are you looking for something to drink, sir? We have wine over here, sir. She's quite timid and startles easily at your boisterous nature.
How tall is she in regards to me?
She's about a good 1.5 feet. I'm gonna say she's probably. I have it here in my notes. Actually, they did really well with this.
It's always nice when they do that.
She's It says she's about. I want to say around 5 foot. So you've got about a
so
foot
I got a
taller.
foot and a half.
Yeah, just about a 1.5 feet taller than her. Yeah.
Well, I am going to with this like smile that fits my face but doesn't fit like my body. I'm just gonna lean down to her and give her this smile. It's like, oh yes, young lady, I would love a drink. Do you have anything happen to be a little bit stronger?
But of course, everything in Lord Berkhouse's stock is rather strong, you see.
Would you happen to have a fire whiskey?
I'll go look. Be right back, sir. And she
Thank you very much, my dear.
She skips along as she goes to find you a beverage.
Stand back up to my full height. and then look back towards this angry lady slamming books and upset with me for some unknown reason, and see what if she's like leaving or walking towards me or just standing there.
She's standing there.
I'm gonna walk over to her.
So she's standing near just a bookcase over there still?
She's going through the books, yes.
Okay.
Excuse me, madam.
So before we do that, the only thing that you can tell Farragos is that she just has a bad attitude. She's thumbing you down. You're actually familiar with who she is because when you took that moment to insight check, you realized, oh, you know who this lady is. This is the lady that hardly anyone wants to invite to their parties, but they do anyway because of who she is and who her family is. The Lockwell family, consequently enough, are the world-renowned. She's of the world-renowned Lockwell family, Lockwell Locks. And by virtue of her trading ability to keep, her family's ability to keep locks, to be one of the hardest locks to pick in the surrounding area, has made quite the name for themselves for the last several generations. And they have a secret ingredient, as they call it, that goes into their locks and makes them almost nigh impossible to pick. Go ahead and let me start some music real quick.
Hello, groovy.
Oh yeah. As you barrel up to Harriet, she turns her gaze to you, and again you feel this cold, unnerving sensation. It seems to fly over you, and you can't exactly understand why, but just her scowl, something about it strikes you as formidable, but nonetheless not enough to keep you from doing anything that you wouldn't normally do.
I bow my head. Milady, have I offended you in some way? I feel like we may have gotten off on the wrong foot I didn't know we had.
Sorry, I giggled because he said the foot, and I took it as a joke.
Don't need to explain, bud. Just stop explaining. She looks at you, and as she stares you up and down, lets out a sigh. Your mere presence is offending. That they would let a brute like you in a place like this. With that, she simply goes and sits down in the nearest cushion and fondling one of the books that she has. As she sits down, Lord Burkstaff comes from in. Well, my home is your home. Please spend the night with us after your dinner. I would hate to have you travel after such an extraordinary meal that are being cooked up in the kitchen. If you guys would like, you are more than free to peruse what belongs to me. There are plenty of places within my manor of some interest. Please, avail yourselves. Find yourself a nice room that you would like to bed in, and I will call you the supper. With that, Lord Burkstaff turns around and returns to the kitchen area. He heads in the direction of the kitchen. At that point, you see the Fairbrand brothers. Oh, well, I suppose we can do with a little bit of stretch as we wait. I don't know. I don't think that's actually a bad idea. And the two brothers get up and they walk down the hallway to a room, and you hear a door close. As Harriet gives probably the only sigh of satisfaction you've heard this whole entire time, she walks, and as she does, she locks eyes viciously with Lady Silverhall. Kind of almost brushes her shoulder, not enough to bump her, but you guys know when someone's trying to exert their dominance over them. Lady Silverhall. Well, I never. That's more than can be expected from such a lowly upbringing. And in that moment, you see Harriet Lockwell turn around and give probably the coldest gaze you've seen, and glaze for that matter, the whole entire night. And it almost shakes the room kind of cold. Both of you, like, you've been living long enough to know a crazy woman when you see it. And she has just kicked the proverbial hornet's nest. Nonetheless, both of the women retire to rooms, and you hear two more doors close. You have not quite seen where the young tiefling lady has returned with your drink, but you guys are free to explore the room.
So is this like a entryway to the house?
You guys are currently
Or manor.
located. It is the. It's kind of like the foyer. It's kind of like the opening place.
Gotcha. So kind of like a meeting, kind of like just like an open area with like a bar. Do they have a bar? Or was it just the books?
It's kind of there's definitely no. It's just an open reception room. It's a plain wide room for guests of the manor. It has very little within it. A few oil paintings on the walls to attract attention. There's a fine fine golden trimmed staircase that stretches upwards to the second floor.
Did I see where the little lady went to, like, head off to for my drink?
Well, as you enter the home from the front door, there is a pathway off to the left that will take you further into the house, and that's where she left. The only other exits upstairs, and she didn't go upstairs.
Well, Fragilis.
It's Fargeros.
Fargeros. I'm
Yes, please
terribly sorry.
Yes, please get the name right.
Can I just call you Far?
No, that would be if I was a child. Fargeros. That's my name.
Okay.
Just like your name is Varro.
Well, there are plenty of books to peruse.
Indeed.
Say it one more time for me, please.
I will say it slowly, so you may understand. Fargeros. Think of far, and then just add Geros at the end of it. Just say Fargeros. If you need to, just call me Hoarfrost. It's my last name, but I don't go by it very much. In your case, I will make the exception if you can't say Fargeros.
Fargeros. My apologies, Fargeros.
Thank you.
I'm
You were
going to
saying-
try to find a drink, but I know you love books. Are you wanting to peruse?
If you are getting a drink, would you mind bringing me just a simple wine if they have it?
Of course. I'm gonna head off and try to find this girl.
Okay.
And I will peruse the said bookcase over here and just kind of glancing over it to see if there's anything that stands out to me.
Okay. So, get my dice. Oh gosh, these are so weighted. Natural 20.
Oh my gosh.
At this
You
point,
did say... Oh,
Go ahead.
sorry, go ahead. You said the only thing was that this was an open space and that there was the gold trim staircase in the middle, correct?
it's more or less off to the side. But as the but there's, I mean, when you first walk in, it's this greeting room is just off to your right. So there's literally about 5 or 6 feet of space. That's the entryway. And then off to the right is this room, and once you walk into the room, like it leads to, like directly to your left is a hallway that leads deeper into the house, whereas in the corner there's a staircase going up, and then of course around the it's a rather open room. There's paintings. You see a painting of different family members. You see perhaps Burkstaff's kin, that people look slightly like him, and then just different places to sit, a fireplace. Essentially, it's just to welcome guests in and have conversation.
Okay. Now, is the kitchen on the same floor as this one?
You don't know.
Okay. Did she go to the left or the right when she left?
She went down the hallway,
Okay, gotcha.
and that's the same where Varro went as well.
Do I find anything with the books? Or I did interrupt you when you were going into something.
Let me get to Derek.
Yeah, no, go ahead.
So, Derek, as you are making your way down the hall, having not been here before, you find yourself getting confused really quickly. But as you're walking down, you're sure of one thing: there's food, and this food is rather good smelling. As you follow your the food, you noticed off to your right an armory and trophy room. It's a really big room, a 30 by 40 foot room with many glass display cabinets dotted around, regular intervals. 3 suits of armor are propped up in the corners of the room. A collection of swords hang over the double door exit. 2 glass cabinets about 10 foot long, each filled with hunting equipment, divided up the middle of the room.
All right, hold on 1 second. I need to roll a D. Is there such thing as D3?
Yes, 1d3. You should be able to do any number you want.
3. All right, so I was following small food, but seeing a trophy armory room, I am going in there.
Okay.
Start perusing area.
I wonder what taking Varro so long.
Hold on a second. We'll jump back to you, bud.
I know, I'm just joking.
Right. Whatever could be the thing. So, while you're perusing around the armor, back in the guest room, you see Farragos sees the little tiefling. Excuse me, sir. Where did your friend go? I have his drink. and she has, as Farrago sees her, you start to recognize this young lady, having been served by her actually quite often. She is a waitress, and she's been serving in several, wherever she's needed, at some of the higher end establishments your family has frequented. And you know Amy O'Hare, and you're like, you come to this realization only because of the way she holds the serving platter. She's able to skip and jump, yet the alcohol and glass don't seem to sway at all. Now, anyone who holds a serving dish like that, a serving platter, would drop it. But clearly she knows what she's doing. And she walks up and sets it down on this small coffee table in front of one of the sofas, and she's looking around. It's rather hard to misplace a man that tall, sir. And she refers back to you.
As I was kind of thumbing my fingers over the bookcase, I had pulled a book out, I'm presuming, and I had kind of had my face in it for just a minute, and then I'm just like, I look over and I'm like, as she is coming out with that tray, and I notice that, why have I seen Amy?
She tilts her head, doesn't quite recognize you as she serves quite a bit of people on the regular.
Oh,
and she looks at you, thumbing through the books. Oh, sir, did you not know, sir? There is a library here. Surely your sister would have told you that. It's just down the hall. Would you like to see it?
Yes, of course. But first, I remember you asked a question. I think Vera was looking for you, actually, and he went somewhere in this manor. He's a big man. I don't know. He might have gotten distracted or something. But I know he was coming for you. Oh no.
Can't be helped. Well, his liquor is here. If he looks to find it, it'll be here when we get back. Come, let's go look at the library. And
thank you.
She moves along to the down the hallway and works through the different hallways until eventually you come to the library. The library is a circular room with bookshelves on most of its facing, stretching upwards toward the ceilings. Many sofas and armchairs are scattered around the room, with a small coffee table in the middle laden with books. A rolling ladder can be seen at one end, and even with a library of your own, and all the books that you've seen, you are quite impressed at the collection that Amy shows out. And Amy kind of sees your amazement. Sir.
Wow.
Lord Bookstaff has many books, as you see. More books than I've seen. Almost like the library. But, of course, I don't go to the library, you see. And she kind of starts tapping her fingertips together, just kind of nervous about the prospect of going someplace that she really doesn't belong. Much like she's been doing the whole time.
I think you might like it. It's a nice place. It's not always quiet, but you can always find a chance for a good book and a good read.
Sir, I like the quiet. So, as you peruse the library, we jump back to Varro inspecting the armor and looking in the trophy room.
Okay. So is there just one set of armor, or are there multiple sets of armor?
There are three. There are one in each. There are three, all of which are in the corners of the room.
Okay. Can I go and inspect kind of the quality of each one of them and stuff? Because I mean, I'm
Sure.
assuming with my background, I know quite a bit about armor.
Mm-hmm.
Investigation check.
Sure. 12. So what you can tell about the armor is it's not the cheap kind of show armor that some people have. This armor looks like not only has it been used, it's seen combat, right? As you inspect kind of the hands, places they get the most use, you find that there are scratches there, though they've been buffed out. Along the chest, you see scrapes and scratches, again, being buffed out, but you really can't always get all of the scratches out. So, not the cheap kind.
Okay.
Along their side, you see long swords, two-handed long swords on their hips, banded together with leather straps and different frogs. Well, do you know what a belt frog is? It's a kind of leather piece that they use to keep things like rapiers and other long blades affixed. Okay, so it has those along the side of it as well.
And you said there's trophies?
Sorry?
You said there's trophies around as well?
It's kind of a trophy room, yeah. You do notice that there are there's inside the cabinets you see bear traps, and up on the walls you do see like heads of different animals, some that you are familiar with. There's in one corner there's a standing bear as well.
Ooh, how big is the bear?
It's taller than you by a good about 3.5 feet taller than you. Like this bear is staring down at you, and it's just staring down at you at a very mouth open. The drool almost looks lifelike, and its claws are the sharpest you probably have ever seen thus far in your young life.
I'm gonna walk up to it and kind of look in its eyes. Ha! Fought bigger.
Make a perception check.
7.
For just a moment, and I mean just a moment, it looked like to you there was a flash in his eyes. Not sure, but you get this haunting feeling that this bear could reach out and bite you. But
I'm gonna lean a little closer for just a second, and then be like, "Ha! Mind playing tricks on me again. Where's food and wine?" Turn around and just start to walk out.
Okay. So, in the library, we find Amy following Farragos around, and enjoying how excited he is to see the massive amount of books that are on the shelf. With each new book, things that he himself has not seen before, he gets really excited. A new gasp with the amount of rarities that he's noticed. Extensions of collections that have either not been seen in many, many, many years, or books covering topics that he's wasn't even sure that there were books on. Each, of course, piques his intellectual prowess and hunger for knowledge. You really like books, don't you, sir? You hear Amy say as she watches you.
Indeed, Amy, I do. I've always wished to understand the world. The world my father never really taught me about as much as I'd like.
She looks at you for a moment, and you see stars kind of brighten in her eyes. You have a father, sir. What's that like? As sincere as she could.
I kind of look, not immediately at her yet, but I kind of have like a hint of misty eye and maybe a slowly developing tear at the edge, and I'm like, as my heart sinks a little bit, or Fargaros's heart sinks just a little bit.
No, you're in character. It's one and the same. That's fine to say. As you do that, hold on.
Yeah, no, you're good.
My gosh, this thing rolls so heavy. Okay.
I was sighing.
As you sigh, your stomach grumbles as a new waft of food starts hitting even a library. Sir, have you eaten yet today, sir?
Just a quick question. We fought the Etten and then we arrived here. Is that correct?
So the timeline is, and Derek, you might want to know this one as well. After about... This Etten was probably the smartest thing. It was the smartest Etten you've seen in a while, which is probably the only way it could have gotten as big as what it did, right? And because of it's the trickiness of it, like of a party of 6, you two are the only ones who made it out alive. And because of that, it just shows you the cunning of this. The creature had made traps and different pitfalls in the forest, and if it wasn't for your clever spell usage and Varro's precise strikes, never would have dropped this guy. But eventually you were able to wither him down and kill him. So it's been about, by the time that you returned from your adventures, presented the heads of the Etten to the town, it's probably been about a week since you've killed him. And then as everyone, about, I'm going to say a week later, because everyone's prepared a festival and a feast and allowed you to rest and regain whatever hit points and bury your comrades. It was the night of the party that you got the invitation while you guys were in town. The messenger was sent. And so the next day you guys left while they're still feasting to go have this other celebratory dinner at the Moonviel Manor.
Okay. Cool. Let me write that down real quick.
Good Lord, Derek, I'm telling you what, if someone breaks into my house or whatever, I'm just going to throw 2 or 3 of these hard D20s at him, and it's probably going to knock him silly.
Dude, I know, man. Like, the D20...
Jiminy Christmas.
Like, you just take up a handful and you just throw it.
Oh!
Pop out.
As you
Feel
say
like
that,
a
I
potato cannon.
dropped it on my freaking knuckle. And I was like, ow, okay, that's... I'm going to put this in a sock and swing it, and someone's going to, like, lose an eye.
That's a spicy meatball.
I'm telling you what. And for defensive purposes. So, what are you doing then, Farron Ghost?
As I smell tender meats or whatever vegetables that they're cooking. Oh yes, I must have forgotten to eat. I was so distracted by these wonderful books. Where are we dining? I said
Oh,
to Amy.
sir. Come, let us go to the dining hall. As you make your way down... Oh, were you going to say something else?
In that kind of period of investigate, like, do I find anything per se in his books of note that I might just keep in mind? Obviously, since I'm moving out of there now.
There's plenty of topics that you passed over. It's almost kind of like, it's kind of like when we were at the bookstore, and you saw all these Halo books, and there's all of them. Like, there's this one, and there's that one, but then there's this one, and then what's the story here? It's kind of like a more intense feeling of that, and you're just kind of like, when did this happen? And then you're kind of looking at these books like, that's a book, or what's that about? He has that edition. He's like, but that's the revised edition of this book? Like, your brain is shooting, you're just making all these connections at once. It's almost kind of confusing. You'd have to make...
Could I do a kind of investigation check, or would I have been in there long enough to...
Are you just something specific that you're wanting to kind of think about, or...
Perhaps, like, maybe something in relation to the manor itself, like anything I might have noticed that could have been a reference to the history of the place, or because that's something I would have been curious about, or maybe if there's any spells that would have stood out, maybe something of reference.
Okay, so hold on a second, bud.
Because my main two things that I'm interested in is history, like lore, or arcana, essentially.
Okay, so the first thing I'm going to have you do is I'm going to have you make an arcana check.
Wow, I rolled a... Whoa.
Hey, 1 is not an automatic failure.
I know, I was just kind of... Yeah.
So, and then make intelligence check for me.
Okay. Can I just do that? 3. Okay. Whoa.
You do notice some books about arcana, but with everything going through your mind and the dartiness of the situation, because you darted... like you recall something, but nothing that jumped out at you as being specific. Like, it's on the tip of your tongue, but you'd have to go back and really start looking through there to ferret that out.
Fair enough. Gosh, I got 2 1s in a row.
So, as you make your way down the hallway, you see a very imposing figure whose weapons are, as he walks, kind of... The hall's a bit small in the area he's walking, and as Varel walks, his weapons tap on the walls, being the big man that he is. And as you come together, Amy goes to speak. But before she can get a word out of her mouth, you hear a voice down the hallway. And just what do you... Ow. I bit my tongue. I think that's like the voice actor spraying there, man. Oh my gosh.
The trip and fall.
Gee, what did I roll on that one? I thought it was going to be a 20 or a 1 to make a really amazing joke, but it's just a 14. And just what do you think you two are doing? A stout kobold tries to walk up to you with a burning implement in his mouth, the cigar, and he walks up to you and he's smoking. Right behind him you see a gnome. Yeah, I'm talking to you two. I ain't seen you two here before. What are you doing in this place? You're trying to fix and rob the place. I'm watching you two. And as he walks up to you, he trips and smashes his face on the ground, ruining he gets up. Well, that's another one of those. Flicks the rest of his cigar off to the side. Detective Rhubarb. You see this portly constable just kind of walk up to him and help him up. Get your hands off me. I told you about that, okay? I can take care of myself. You two. What's your business here?
Sir, we were invited here.
Yeah, don't give me that stuff. You got some documentation that says you're allowed to be here. Because you better produce it immediately. You know what I'm saying? You too, big man. I ain't afraid of you meat cleavers. And all of a sudden from behind him, yeah, he's not afraid of your meat cleavers. Comes almost a sheepish voice from behind him. This the seemingly bumbling kobold walks up to you and would poke you in the chest. Farragos, not Varro. And he just kind of starts looking you up and pokes you kind of in the knee. From behind him, you see the gnome with bright custard yellow hair. He's got this kind of perpetual, almost slightly lost look in his eyes. Walks up and he was about to poke Varro's knee, and then he just kind of looks up the armor and the weapons as Varro just kind of puts his hands on his hip like, I dare you to touch him.
How big is this kobold?
Probably about 3.5 feet tall.
My weapons are as big as he is.
That would be accurate. Actually, your boot knife is probably about as big as what he is. And you can tell that this official looking, and he's dressed as the guards in town are, kind of a little bit more of a stationed one, but you can tell a uniform when you see one.
As he's like about to poke me or everything, I'm gonna lean down with this real serious look again and be like, of course you haven't seen us. We've never been here before.
And the gnome's like, meat cleavers, and kind of shakes a bit. Hey, don't worry about these. You get out of my man's face. Constable Custard, in line. And he kind of is like, yes, sir, and fumbles his way back. The constable pulls out his handy-dandy pipe, puts it in his mouth. I'm still waiting for that documentation. And he takes the stem of his pipe and just kind of, gets as close to Farragos's face as he can. Hey, don't eyeball me. And he's like, come on, let's make with it.
Did they give us any documentation?
You haven't that invite from the messenger.
Oh, maybe I should have kept that on record here. Whoopsie. I'm gonna go ahead and pull that out. It'd be like, sir.
Give me that!
I've.
He
Okay,
starts. He
I've-
grabs it, and he starts looking at it, and he's like, and he looks at your name, Horfrost. Okay. Well, you never can't be too careful, and he politely hands it back to you. What about you, big man? I'm Detective Rhubarb over here. Where's your papers?
He's with me.
What, you telling me this is your +1? Having a hard time finding a lady, Mr. Horfrost?
I just happen to like his skill, sir.
I bet you do, Mr. Horfrost. All of a sudden, from behind all this, you see Amy just kind of blush and be like, "Sir, that's inappropriate. Don't think I ain't got my eyes on you either, Miss O'Hare. What are you doing here?" And about that time, Lord Burkstaff comes down the hallway upon hearing the commotion.
Before he comes down the hallway, I want to look at this little kobold. And, so where is your invitation or paperwork showing you're supposed to be here? Maybe you're robbing the place. And I just place a hand on my longsword on my side.
Gentlemen, there's no need for such things, of course. I've invited you all to come here. You must forgive Detective Rhubarb and Constable... And all of a sudden, from behind us, this, you hear the gnome. My name is Constable Custard, and you know that.
Custard?
Custard.
Custard, like custard.
Like custard.
Okay.
Come, gentlemen, it's actually time for dinner. Right this way. Come now. Yes, or just right down the hall.
Yes, food. Yes.
Well, it was Constable Custard, and what was the other creature's name?
Detective Rhubarb.
And that's the kobold?
Correct.
Like rhubarb?
Like rhubarb pie.
Ah. These are some tasty investigators.
They better be careful. I'm quite hungry.
Calm down, big man. We'll have dinner soon.
Don't you try it. I got my eyes on you two. Always got them eyes on you two.
Can your eyes even see my entire form?
You'd be surprised what these eyes can tell. Let me get a good look at you. And he
looked down to his level. I squat down to his level. So we'll give me the eye.
He looks at you. He puts his hand on his chin. Puts his pipe to his mouth. Lights it. Hold on. And he just looks at you up and down. A champion gladiator. How's your lady? Petra, is that right? She spoke of you.
As he mentions Petra, for the first time probably anyone's ever seen,
No, just go ahead. Just go ahead and get into your action, because like this is like the improv I'm talking about. Because there's like, yeah, what are you doing?
She passed away.
I know. I was investigating her murder. Did you know that? And
No, I did not know it was you.
He be surprised what these eyes have seen and what they can tell. And then he just kind of takes his pipe and I'll tell you about it sometime. And walks down the hallway to dinner. Out of character, I'm glad you didn't hit him. I was just like, oh geez, he's not gonna hit him.
I'm never gonna hit him.
Okay, good. I was like,
I'm a very happy person that can be mean and if I need be, but most of the time I'm very happy unless someone mentions Petra and then my face just falls.
Right. Okay, good. It's that whole trust dynamic that we're trying to build here.
Nah, I'm not Bob. I'm not Bob.
Bob would have killed him. I'd have cut you. I'd have cut 10 of your boys already. I'm going to cut you too. You're done. I'm like, oh, jeez.
Yeah, you would have ate the
that way, little
kobold.
Right. As you guys make your way into dinner, Lord Burkstaff has everyone sit down and they begin to... He regales the people around the table of the heroics. As a matter of fact, as Varro tries to sit down, his weapons just won't allow it. He looks there for a second, trying to get into his seat with his weapons, and they just won't fit. And Amy happens to be around him. Sir, there's a table there, sir. I can put your weapons there if you like. And she goes to kind of put her arms out to get them. The table is probably about 7 feet away from you.
Yes, we shall definitely put them there. But I will carry them over. No,
But sir, it is my duty to serve you, sir. Please, make yourself comfortable, sir. Make yourself comfortable.
Okay, madam. Take the giant war hammer, giant great axe, and giant longsword, and try to very gingerly place them in her open arms. Hoping that they don't fall.
You're gonna make me roll dice, aren't you? Dang it.
Yeah.
I'm kind of just watching this in amazement.
I like your tenacity, so.
Okay. So, as you place... as you go to place your weapons down, she has her arms out, and she's got this big smile, and the longsword... Poof, she's like, okay, yeah, I could take that. And the great axe... Poof, she's like holding still. She's got a good stance, and she goes to move, and then she realizes you have one more, and you take the warhammer, and she kind of looks like, and you drop it, boom, and she almost like squats for a second, and then she straightens herself up. Thank you, sir, and turns around and just kind of puts them on the table and arranges them in a nice orderly fashion.
Huh.
As
you're quite a woman.
Why, thank you, sir. Thank you so much, sir. And she leaves. And Lord Burkstaff is like, Amy. Wow, if I can get my voices right. Amy, I've told you, you're a guest this evening. There's no need for such things. We have people come to do that. And she just kind of bows and smiles anyway and sits down at the table. At this point, Lord Burkstaff again recounts the harrowing adventure, almost in bardic limerick, of the daring tale between the Etten and our heroes, and he goes through what they went through, how they tracked him down and disabled some of the traps, and how they've lost comrades that they've been working with for several months to try and track this creature down. And at the end, he's like, and let us not forget those wonderful folks who have given their lives so that we can enjoy our freedoms this very evening. Come, raise a glass, a toast to their lives. And he lifts his glass, and you see Amy shoots a glass right up there. Detective Rhubarb, he just like, he pulls his pipe from his mouth and he raises a glass, and you look over and Constable Custard is like, and grabs a glass and just kind of, picks it up the air and removes his finger from his nose. And the Faraday brothers in unison, and then you see reluctantly the two noblewomen, mostly Lady Silverhall, though she's reluctant, it's not because of an attitude. You can tell there's a look on her face of sadness, as if she's had to do this way too many times. Whereas Harriet gives a yawn and raises her glass. You guys feast into the evening. Talk amongst the Fairbank. I'm really bad with names apparently tonight. The Fairbrand brothers, and y'all share jokes and dad jokes. He has plenty of them. Excuse me. One dad joke after the other, and they play off of each other. And Amy's giggling, and you guys have a wonderful time. Eventually the hour grows late. Harriet, well, do excuse me. And that's all she says, and Lord Berkstaff raises a cup and she retires. Lady Silverhall as well gives a daggered glance at Miss Lockwell before she's like, yes, it is quite late. I need my beauty sleep. And she gets up and leaves. The Faraday brothers also as well, like, well, I suppose it's time to go to bed. And bumps his brother. Well, if and you say so. I tell you what, you're just as efficient as a clock. And then the brother turns around and says, what are you trying to say? I'm only right twice a day? and the brother's like, well, you are kind of broke. As the two of them just walk off. Amy jumps up and she's like, oh, and starts to try to clean, and Lord Berkstaff kind of just sets his thing down and looks at her like, oh, excuse me, sir. Sorry, sir. And skips on out through the door. The night goes, as the night stretches on, you all retreat to your respective rooms. You start to hear creaks, groans, and bangs from around the manor. Naturally, it being a warm day, dropping so coldly so quickly, it's not really that surprising that a building as old as it is would also be settling down alongside yourselves. From downstairs, you hear a few footsteps, most likely Lord Berkstaff making sure that the doors are locked and the windows are secure. Being this far out of the main city does make this a place a good target for thieves, especially with the vast collection of eccentric items you remember seeing throughout the house. You all put back the warm covers and climb into the soft, sinking beds of the mattresses stuffed with owl bear feathers and the pillows fluffed to perfection. It doesn't take long for each of you to drift into a deep, relaxed slumber until you hear a crash from somewhere in the manor that wakes you up all with a start. And that...
Can I input one thing?
Go ahead.
I want to.
Actually, what do you guys do, by the way?
Well, I want to say that is this a sound that we hear after we're going to sleep?
Correct.
So like we wake up in the middle of the night.
Correct.
Okay, I want to say that before I had went to meditate or whatever because of my sleep cycle.
You would have just, at that point, you would have just most likely woke up already. So you're probably most likely in your room looking through books or anything else that you have on your persons.
Yeah, I would have been checking my spells because it would be coming to the next day anyway.
So in actuality, before you start this next day, if you want to, I know you're probably hasty with checking your spells, so if you want to redo them for the next session, that's fine. But
yeah, I'll make a note and then do it before our next session. But what I wanted to say was I would have casted Alarm, which I'll go ahead and just kind of describe. I pulled out my crystal.
Put it in the thing then if you're going to use a spell.
Okay.
How loud was this noise out of curiosity?
It was enough to...
Varro's a heavy sleeper.
It was hard enough to make you to wake you up.
So essentially, I will set up an alarm near the door and the window of my room.
Okay.
I would have done it outside the door, probably in the hallway. Which I don't know if there's any windows near the door I'm at, but
You're already awake and you heard this anyway.
I would say this for the sake of role playing. I would have done this before I went into the room.
Okay.
Essentially.
No,
And
that's
then meditated, and then I would have been awake. I'm just saying I probably would have done that as my character.
Right. So in your mind, right. Yeah. Strangely enough, this alarm didn't go off.
Okay.
So Varro, hearing the sound, would have probably grabbed his nearest weapon, which I would say would probably be the Warhammer, gotten up off the floor, which he sleeps on more normally than beds because of his...
Actually, I tell you what. Let's have you roll a Constitution check. So just to make sure, because if you are saying you're a deep sleeper, I don't want to just ruin your chance of roll. So like, if that's the case, then yeah.
He's a heavy sleeper because he's had to sleep through some crazy.
So
stuff.
if that's the case, then and the other end of that is like when you hear a crash like that, that's just kind of sudden. The first thing you think of is like a battle is happening. But I mean, go ahead and make a Constitution save to see.
Save or check?
Check, excuse me.
Okay, because one's a +2, one's a +5. 21.
You sleep through that bad boy. Like you hear a crash, you wake up, grab your warhammer. You're still in bed in your skivvies.
I'm back on the floor. I was just sleeping on the floor next to the bed.
And as you're asleep, you grab your hammer. You're kind of.
He just about banging as I roll over with it.
You grab it, you hold it close to your chest, and you just start to nuzzle your warhammer and crush skull.
Some giant comes out. Yeah, so Varro's still asleep, guaranteed.
Okay.
Yeah, I definitely like. You know how Doctor Strange is like in his meditation thing. I would have been like in my little mental library reading, and then I wake up from my meditation, and then hear that go off.
This happens after that. So
yeah,
and that is actually where we'll end tonight's session.
I will leave a note for myself.
So. Wow, guys, I gotta admit that the first time this is going really good. I'm really liking how this is going. But that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and thank you for those who stopped by to say hi, those who decided to watch. Appreciate you all. And from me and the team, thank you guys, and we'll see you guys next week.
And
See
is
ya.
it Friday yet?
That's actually copyrighted, and we can't actually say that. So,
Oh.
thank you for getting
What was the other
me
day?
my thing into trouble. How dare you?
Hey, Critical Role's cool, man. They wouldn't care. Guarantee it, they would not care.
Yeah, until we hear from the legal department. So let's just calm down with that, eh? Yeah.
We like what you're doing, but you're going to have to stop.
See you guys.